What up, man? The Coach JB Show with my main man, Darnell Smith, a.k.a. Big Smitty.
I'm going to bring some light to the darkness, man. I'm going to light it up in this mug, man. So I'm ready.
It's going to be fire and ice. Even though you bring that heat as well, you might be that ice that cool me down a little bit. Played at Ball State. You've been at Fox Sports with great people around you. You've had Lil Wayne on your show.
I respect the hell out of you to see that you're doing what you're doing and still doing what you're doing for real, the way you do it, man. You said from day one you had the same enthusiasm. You keep the same enthusiasm, and it's fucking contagious.
We're about to give them this fire and ice. The Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. What up, man? The real Coach JB getting ready to go live. Another day, another dollar. Let's talk that talk Tuesday on the Coach JB Show with my main man, Big Smitty.
Talk that talk Tuesday, baby. I'm hyped up. How you feeling, Coach?
I don't know if you're ready to talk that talk with me.
I'm always ready to talk that talk. Isaac, don't ask that question, man. Sometimes I'm fire and JB ice. Sometimes he's fire. I'm ice. It depends on the day and the mood.
Who's that little ass boy in the chat?
12 years old. I think it's my little cousin. Who is that? Pull him back up, Ethan.
Is it?
Nah, I'm just playing. I don't know who this is. Isaac Mix. He's about 13 years old.
They would just call you little boy.
You supposed to be in school. School started back this week,
yeah,
Isaac.
Little boy. What you doing in here, little boy?
Stay out of grown folks' business. Stay in the child's place, Isaac.
Hey, motherfucker in here with a perm.
Hey, everything full circle, JB. Everything comes back.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Full circle.
Damn, Ray. He do look like Zero from Hoes.
Big worm with a perm.
Yeah.
Got a lot going on today, dog. We got a loaded lineup. College football expert Mike Farrell. If you don't follow him on Twitter, follow him. Hey, Ethan, if you can pull up his on Twitter and Instagram and put it on the ticker for later on, he'll be on in about 30. Yeah. He's big on Twitter. If you're not following him, follow him. He has been on the show before, but we're going to ask him about college football landscape, Pac-12. Are they cooked? What do they do next? And if he were, well, you'll see. We're going to ask him a few questions. Matt McChesney joins us in the second hour, and Steve Kim in the third hour.
Hey, what the hell was that, JB?
We're loaded today, Big Smitty. Hey,
we are loaded.
Pimps fuck up. Shit, pimps fuck up too.
Players fuck up.
Hey, this show is brought to you by betonline.ag. TikTok just popped up. What up, TikTok?
What's good, TikTok?
Every morning they get a free show. Like, I'm tripping. Like, free show. But, you know, it is what it is. BetOnline.ag. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV. Get you 50% off plus welcome bonus. Quote of the day, Big Smitty. Well done is better than well said.
Ooh, actions speak louder than words, JB. You can talk about it on Talk That Talk Tuesday, but are you going to be about it?
Show me better than you can tell me. Hey, you know, there's all those little anages. Well done is better than well said. Contrary to belief, brought to you by Factor 75. They'll be back on the ad read next week. Falling face first, Smitty, isn't that bad. At least you are moving forward. Contrary to belief. I'd rather land on my face, dog, running full speed than land on my back.
Yep. Because when you fall forward, you can get back up, JB, and keep going.
People don't realize that. It's always too early to quit, Big Smitty. Period. It's always too early to quit. I don't think people let that sink in. I don't think it resonated with you. I think you're waiting for something else to be said. Nah, that's it. It is always too early to quit. You know they say it's always, well, it's quitting time. It's never too early to quit. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But you know what?
If you too early. Always.
It's always too early because if you don't quit, you never know what could happen. It might not be in the time that you want it to happen. It might take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But if you keep going, you keep falling forward at some point. If you're good at what you do, come on now, it's gonna work in your favor. I love that, JB.
Here's the mic dropper, though. Contrary to you believe. Leap and the net will appear. I don't think no one and none of you ready for that one. See, I used to pitch that in recruiting visit. Smitty at the house. People didn't understand what that meant. I'll tell that story later. That's a Bobby Bowden thing. That's a Bobby Bowden thing.
That's that faith right there, man. You know, I ain't trying to get real spiritual on here, but hey,
I got a tattoo on my right calf, Big Smitty. I walk by faith, not by sight.
Come on now. When you're a believer, man, you ain't gotta always see it. You just feeling. You believe in something greater than yourself. Leap and that net gonna show up and catch you, baby. Oh, I'm about to catch the Holy Spirit. I ain't been to church in a while, Jeb. You better stop playing.
And having said that, after the show, can you just run outside your building and jump off and see how high you can jump?
I do it. You know what? Because I know my Savior gonna catch me.
Right.
He gonna catch me. Come on now.
Hey, get on one of the day.
Oh, say it again.
Pizza.
Like pizza, like Pizza, like a slice of pizza.
Yeah, love pizza. You know you eat pizza. You love pizza. Everybody love pizza.
Yeah, everybody love. I went to Brooklyn like a couple months ago. Had a big old New York slice of pizza. It was greasy. It was good. Like that's a regular word, JB.
Damn, dog, gotta give me a piece of that ass. That whole part of the day brought to you by betonline.ag. Question: what will the future of college football look like in 5 years? That's the poll question. Drop it down on the chat. Facts of life, Big Smitty, 1974, 2 years before I was birthed, before I was brought to this earth. Facing expected impeachment over the Watergate scandal, Richard Nixon became the first U.S. president to resign. On this day, August 8th, 1974, the Watergate scandal, Richard Nixon resigns. Little history for all you out there that just think it's just, so easy. You don't know anything because you don't even go to school no more. 1,440 minutes you guys spend on your phone anyway.
Speaking of school, we got more information on our young guy. He said, yes, I am in school right now, but I listen to the show. He said we can use our laptops.
I got to send Isaac a hoodie. I can't send him a slapdick hoodie. Well, you probably can. He probably rock that shit right in front row of school. Wonder what they would do, Big Smitty. I'm seeing these high schoolers and everybody, they wearing weed shirts and socks and all this old stuff. You think they could wear a slapdick hoodie nowadays?
That's too blatant, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes teachers may not know that that's a weed leaf. I remember when I was younger, I think I had a hood Captain Crunch shirt where it was Captain Crunch, but he was black and he was high, and I think it was kind of hard to really tell what was truly going on. But if it just say slap dick, ain't no argument behind that. You can't really, you know what I'm saying? It's too straightforward.
We're in a weird space where cats just might not even trip no more. They're worried about other teachers, worried about fighting the kids right now in class. It's crazy, dog.
That is true.
And there's you can teach, and I wouldn't, dog. I couldn't teach you that.
You could not teach, Coach. Hey, y'all, imagine Coach JB like as an actual teacher, though. Wouldn't that be something?
I did, right? You know I've done it, right?
I know, but I never seen I want to see you actually just teach like a math class or something. Geometry. You would be so frustrated.
I taught sex ed to all girls Catholic school in LA in the hood.
I got a lot of questions after the show.
No, it's in my book. It's in my book. Hey, and the girls love me to death, dog, every day. Mr. B, we get $1 every day. They came to me when the girl got pregnant, when there was a fight, the boyfriend issue. They didn't go to the nun or the sister, the head of so they came to me, dog. They recognized real. They know what was up. But guess what? I got them to do what the hell they're supposed to do. That's a whole book in itself. I bet you I could write a book about me teaching all girls Catholic school. Guess what I taught? Biology, science. So I taught science to true freshmen, girls.
You taught science?
I taught biology to juniors and seniors. And then I taught sex ed to the seniors.
Hell no.
And guess what? Only male on the campus. Sacred Heart High School in LA, Lincoln Heights, oldest high school in LA.
That's wild. How the hell you get that opportunity? That's like the only male in the entire school?
I was a head coach at Compton College during the same time.
Damn. JB, man, you really a Renaissance man. Like you do it, you teach,
dog. I do it all.
Teach, coach, in the hood. Like you do it. What can't you do, JB?
Hey man, shit, I don't know. Tie a double Windsor. I can't. I actually can.
I was about to say you can do it, or you just haven't learned to do it.
I like double Windsor. I like the fat double Windsor right here. I don't like no skinny little ass, weirdo ass tie. It's especially a bigger cat. If you put that little ass regular knot on your tie, you got no swag.
JB, I'm gonna be real with you, JB. I'm not really good at tying ties, man. I wasn't taught how to do it growing up. In the hood, we didn't really wear suits a lot.
You can teach yourself. It's easy. Once you learn it, you can teach yourself.
When I was in college, I went to YouTube and watched videos, and I kind of got it down pat, but it wasn't that I never became excellent at it. You know what I'm saying? So I used to wear, and don't y'all roast me. I used to wear the pre-made zip up ties. You put it on, pull the little thing up, and zipping it up because I was like, I really don't know how to tie a tie, and I was kind of embarrassed about it. Because I'm like, damn, I'm a grown-ass man. I can't tie a tie. But I just didn't. We never wore suits and stuff growing up. I never wore, you know what I mean? You don't know what you don't know, So
you don't. Hey, now I got everybody out there. If you're not a Last Chance true member on Patreon, season episode 3, I just got edited last night, by the way. And I'll give you a little snippet on season 3. Episode 3. Episode 2, I actually put in Patreon for all the loyal members who have been on Patreon, and y'all needed something because I'm getting ready to put this whole season 1 on Patreon. Appreciate all the members out there so far. But here's a clip of episode 3 for season 1 that I just got edited last night. Check it out. All right, this is Garden City week. All right. I brought you to Garden City a year before this. Yep. Then I take you to Cali to Riverside. Yep. Then I get you back to Indy. Yep. Your mom paid all your bills. You back square. You ready to ball. Help us win. We just went through Fort Scott. We're 1-1 now. Now we're going into Garden City.
Yeah.
Our nemesis.
Our old school.
Well,
how we got linked.
We got linked. Sims and I get into it. I leave, take you guys. The whole team would have came.
If it was possible.
So we have a whole team meeting in my parking lot of my apartment, remember? Mm-hmm. The whole team didn't want to show up to his meeting. So we had a meeting, and I'm like, you guys go to fucking,
y'all gotta go to practice. Y'all gotta go.
I can't take y'all.
Y'all gotta go.
So we did that, and now we're at Garden City. Tell them the difference. Tell everybody the difference between Sims and myself. Since everybody I don't think really people understand, because I've told people the story. I said Sims is a really organized guy.
He's really organized. He's almost like military.
He's an analyst. That's why Division One's hired him as that.
He's almost like an analytical military type of guy. Like he's down to the basics of everything. Like he's on top of it. And Coach Brown, honestly, just a little bit more loose and more of a.
My yelling is just coaching.
He coaches.
His yelling is personal.
Nah, yeah, Coach Sims kind of.
He go after you at a personal level. Woo! Ready for that, Big Smitty? You muted.
Who muted me? I said I got chills in my stomach and my chest right now just watching that teaser right now, man. Y'all got to make sure y'all subscribe and become members of that Patreon because I'm telling y'all, I was able to be on a couple of the episodes. It's gonna be fire, y'all. It's gonna be fire.
That's episode 3. That's each episode about 30 minutes. We're gonna have about 8 or 9 episodes for season 1. Become a member today, dog. $29.95 gets you a season, and then season 2 we're gonna drop right after football season. So this one's gonna come out September 7th, right at the kickoff of the NFL season. It'll be up all season for new members to watch, and then season 2 we're gonna put out right in the spring. So there's something out there. Last Chance True, dog. There's a lot going on that.
I can't wait till our episode drop, JB. I can't wait till our episode drop because I know it's something that you said on there that's going to shock the world. They're not ready for that, JB.
They're not ready for the Jimbo Fisher talk.
I'll tell you, y'all really not ready for that. But you gotta become a member of Patreon and know what we're talking about. So
make it free. T-Wick, how about you
like
free these nuts?
Hey, this little kid in geometry clowning, ain't he? Right? I'm sorry. Last thing, he in class clowning. He says new teacher is a baddie.
Send us a picture, Isaac, and send her a picture. Tell her who I am. Tell her who I is.
Is she a sister, Isaac? Is she a sister or is she a, you know what I mean? Talk to me.
Tell her who I is.
You silly as hell, man.
You don't know about that Ebonics.
I grew up on Ebonics. We taught Ebonics. We taught you Ebonics, JB.
Hey, I got to show you this though, Bixby, because you ain't ready for this before we dive into some sports talk. But I got something to show you, dog, and I don't know where this is, but I heard it's in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, it's Ohio. Motherfucker said it.
They told him I'm like, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you.
Big Smitty, let me give you a little background here. There is a lot going on. You have to really pay attention to this video. If you haven't seen this video, you got to really, really watch this and pay attention because this shit is very interesting. You got to watch the backdrop of this thing, dog.
Get the fuck
Smash or pass?
Look at
Hold on.
up behind him, homie, with a bat.
She threw something on our They killed all my kids. Call her. The other two are 25 feet from that shop. I found 8 kids right there. 8 children in the bushes.
Then fucking get your car and be a man.
Help us. Call the cops. She threw something on our car.
Listen to that cat with
Please.
the
Are you going to say what you did? Are you going to say what you did? You didn't do nothing, right? Crazy. Oh, okay. Whatever you say, bitch. Please call the police. You guys started swerving into my car. Oh, my God. Oh. Dude, there's 8 kids next to that shop on your team. 8 children. 3 are mine.
I hear that. I saw you hit her. My bad.
He said, I thought I saw you hit her. My bad. He did all that shit and he calmed down. I thought I saw you hit her. My bad.
No, there's you can watch that 100 times. Everyone I repost on Twitter. Everybody's like, Coach, that's just killing me, man. I've watched it 17 times and I've seen 17 different things every time. All right.
It's so many different like perspectives and point of views on there. The guy with the bat at the end, that's where I lost it. He came out of nowhere. It felt like a y'all ever seen that old school movie Warriors Come Out and Play? He came out there with the face paint and the baseball bat, ready for war. I love it.
Oh, that shit is comical. I can't even tell you where to begin on that one. Mike Farrell joins us here in about 10 minutes. We're going to break down some football. I got a lot to ask him, Big Smitty. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to get an interesting take on him. Does he think college football needs a commissioner? I got some interesting questions for him. He knows a lot about that. He puts out his top 50s all the time. So he put out his top 50 college running backs for coming up this year. He's done his quarterbacks. We're not really close on quarterbacks, so it's going to be interesting. Big Smitty, Ethan, can you find our quarterbacks that we talked about for college? Do you still have that or not? Nah, don't worry about it. But yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna ask Mike a lot. Matt McChesney joins us as well, and Steve Kim, of course. So gotta break
Loaded up Tuesday, JB. Loaded up Tuesday, and I believe talk that talk. I believe our thumbnail was Pac-12, right? Pac-12, and is it imploding? And like you said, I know we're gonna talk, going into depth with Mike, but I think even you and I can start off a little bit about it right now. I mean, we're seeing all these teams leaving the Pac-12. I feel like JB again is another one of those things that you called out like a couple months ago, saying that these teams were about to leave. It was in the process of happening, and now we're actually here. And I'm just thinking, like, what is going to happen to the Pac-12? Is there even going to be a Pac-12? The way it's looking like right now, they're only going to have a handful of teams, and teams are going to Oregon's going to end up leaving. You're already seeing all the SC's leaving. UCLA is already leaving. You're seeing Colorado's leaving. So it's like at some point they're just not going to have any teams left, and it's going to have to say bye-bye to the Pac-12, which is crazy because in hindsight, when you think about the history and all the legendary games and moments and the Reggie Bushes and Matt Leiners and just those early years when Pac-12 was actually popping, to think about it not being non-existent, it sounds crazy, but that's where I feel like we're headed towards right now, JB. Now go ahead.
No, I was going to say, while you were talking about that, I put the NFL news ticker down there. There's a lot going on in NFL, Big Smitty. I don't know if you know this. Jerry Jones standing strong about you better play because you ain't getting no more money from me to the best guard in football, Zach Martin. So that's interesting. He's still out. They're fining him daily. Jerry Jones said he was paid most lucrative O-line contract in 2018, so there will be no negotiation. Interesting. Jordan Love, they say, looks really bad in camp from a buddy of mine that was at practice who's a coach. They said Baker Mayfield looks worse. And is Joe Burrow really hurt or injured? We discussed that yesterday. And Justin Houston signs with the Panthers. Big get up for him, for the Panthers, I think. And Chris Jones still a no-show in Kansas City camp. And then the NFL and all the apparently peers voted on the top 100 NFL players.
Yeah.
What stands out to you as the biggest shocker to that top 100? I saw Aaron Rodgers below Kirk Cousins. I saw Jalen Hurts at number 2 above Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. We gotta stop anointing everybody off of this. What have you done for me lately, dog?
Real quick, that's what the top 100 is based upon. It's not based upon your whole entire legacy, your whole entire career. It's based upon last season and and basically that's it. It's like, what did you do last season? Okay, based upon that, this is where you're ranked right now. Based upon that. So it's literally based upon what have you done for me lately. So of course they're gonna have, Jalen Hurts that high because he played in the Super Bowl and outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And the only reason why
I think they had Justin Fields over, and I looked at it. I looked at it pretty in depth, and I don't know if it's really that, dog. I'm just looking at it. There's no way you could have Trevor Lawrence below Justin Fields. There's no way they looked at it that way, in my opinion. I think it's basically that. See, I haven't even seen this one. Wait up. The best, is this history? Why is John Elway on there?
Yeah, I take this one off. I feel like this was like more of a I don't know. I saw this too, JB, with the John Elway, and I was like, all right, hold on. I think there's another list. If you go on Twitter, Ethan, and type it in, it might be very similar to that list, but it takes off the John Elway name. That might have been like a joke right there. Yeah. But there is a top QB list right now, and I think that might have stemmed from the top 100. They basically just took the rankings of the quarterbacks within that 100 and made their list right there. So it's technically coming from the players because the players are the ones who decide. And again, I don't think players are literally saying, okay, this guy is 100, this guy's 99, this guy's 90. I think it's like how many tallies did this quarterback get? How many tallies did this player get? And they're ranked accordingly. So we'll see. We're going to dive into that, man. It looks like our special guest, JB, might be ready a little early today. He might have woke up early.
Let's go. Let's bring in my main man, Mike Farrell.
Clap it up.
You hear me, Mike?
I can hear you.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
How you doing, Mike? Nice to meet you.
Man, this is Darnell Smith, man. He works over at Fox on Speak, and huge fan. We appreciate you coming on again, man. We got a lot of college football going on out here right now, and I just got to get your take because you make some great ones on your Twitter feed and Instagram. I got to ask you this question before we start, man. Does college football need a commissioner?
It does, but it's not owned. I mean, who owns college football? The 32 NFL teams, there's individual ownership of teams. There's no individual ownership of colleges. So you can't have a governing body with any effectiveness like the NCAA. They're ineffective and toothless. Once these teams are eventually corporately sponsored or owned, then you can make it a real business. But right now it's pretending to be student athletes playing football, and it's a money grab. And there's no way to have a commissioner with any power. You could install a commissioner. I could be the commissioner tomorrow. I have no power over anything. There's nothing I can change.
And that was my next question because I talked to all my buddies, all these D1 head coaches, these Power 5 head coaches, and the talk is, man, that the NCAA is going to remove themselves from Power 5 football once these power conferences get established, or B, do these Power 5 schools that create these power conferences just get rid of the NCAA as their governing body and become their own entity controlled by Greg Sankey and the SEC? That's what it looks like going to happen.
Well, the big play is going to be basketball. So basketball, the NCAA is the oversight committee for football and basketball. All this positioning for football will end, and then basketball will be positioned properly. You'll see teams like UConn be brought into leagues simply for their basketball program. Programs like Kentucky and Kansas and North Carolina and Duke are extremely valuable for their basketball. But there's only a few teams that are, valuable in the basketball. But March Madness is a multi-billion-dollar entity. So the first step is, they're going to get down to 4 conferences where we're at. Eventually, it could be 3, depending on the grant of rights of the ACC, which is pretty strong. And teams would have to forfeit roughly about $300 million to leave. If it gets down to 2 super conferences eventually, or 3 super conferences eventually, then they start to engulf basketball. The NCAA is gone. And then you're going to have, right now, Greg Sankey and the SEC, of course, are known as the biggest, most successful, the Big Ten right behind there. You're going to have probably a commissioner situation if you get down to 3. And then you will have, a lot of corporations getting involved in dictating. I don't know if you can't really have team ownership like you do in the NFL, because how do you own the University of Michigan football team? And the president at the University of Michigan or Ohio State or USC, all these schools, they make decisions based on bottom line and numbers. You're going to have a governing body put in place. You're eventually going to have a players union because kids are getting paid now. So you're going to have to professionalize the entire college football and college basketball world and make it as similar to a minor league feeder system for the NFL for college football. And we're not close to that yet. This is just part of the positioning. You're weeding out the weak right now. So your Oregon States and your Washington States are the victims of the Pac-12. I think Stanford and Cal will land someplace. If the ACC gets disbanded, your Wake Forest of the world are in big, big trouble. And then it's going to be interesting to see if some teams get sloughed off. What does the Big Ten do with Rutgers, which has contributed nothing? What does the Big Ten do with Northwestern, which is kind of an embarrassment right now? Once you start to slough off teams, you get these multiple super conferences, then you can actually make this a professional business organization. The NCAA's probably got about 5 years left, and then they're gone. But who steps in, and how do you govern what's supposed to be academic institutions playing sports?
Man, that's tough, man. I got to ask you this. I'm a guy who, I didn't go to a big school. I played in the MAC. I went to Ball State. I'm thinking about the future of my school, the future of the MAC. Do you feel like 5-10 years from now that conferences like the MAC or the WAC will just no longer be, and these kids won't have opportunities?
I think what's going to happen is, you're going to have it's called the Power 5 now. You're going to have whatever it's called with the big programs, the Alabamas, Georgias, Ohio States of the world, playing for a national championship. Then you're going to have, a separate entity for the group of 5 schools. And they're going to play for a similar national championship. You can't really compare it to, the FCS national championship. You can't compare it to the NIT, because those are kind of like, FCS is such a far level below FBS, and the NIT are the teams that couldn't make the actual NCAA tournament. But you're going to have those teams, the ones that are sloughed off, and the teams in the MAC, the Mountain West, the group of 5, as we call them, those teams will be playing for a separate national championship, and they won't be involved in any of this. Like Cincinnati making the playoff a couple of years ago, they moved to the Big 12 now. They're going to be alive, but we will never see that again, because they'll be playing. If this was 10 years from now, Cincinnati would be playing for what we'd call the group of 5 national championship. They would be nowhere near playing a Georgia or anybody good.
Yeah, wow. I agree. So what's your thoughts right now on this Pac-12 debacle, man? I'm a West Coast guy, obviously, from the Pac-8 to the Pac-10 days. I've been talking to all these guys right now at SC, UCLA, buddies of mine that coach, and they're like, "Man, JB, this is crazy, man. For true West Coasters, we're like, it's a gut punch, right? Just like it would be for the old Big East in basketball. Just like all these leagues have kind of faltered. Where do they go? Like, I'm confused. Like, Cal, big time, academic institution, used to be. Stanford, the same. Like, who do they get, or are they just over with? Because there's no Matt McChesney going to join us next, who's Colorado buff and former NFL player, and he's talking about grab UNLV, San Diego State, Boise, San Jose, Fresno, making a new Pac-10. But I'm like, that's a group of five. That's not a Pac. That's not a Power Five. There's just not. They don't have the facility. They don't have the resources, and I don't believe, Mike, you're going to just instantly overnight gain resources and facilities because you're in what used to be the Pac-12, right?
No, it's over. It's over. Larry Scott had an opportunity in 2011 to get Texas and Oklahoma, and he tried. Like, I'm not saying he just didn't push. Texas wanted more. They always want more. There was some talk, I believe, of Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. I forget who the other team was, but going along for the ride. At the time,
it was Baylor.
They should have just acquiesced. They should have said, listen, this is so important to get Texas and Oklahoma. And I don't know if it could have worked because the other teams in the Pac-12 are like, we're not going to give them more, and that's where the Big Ten, the Longhorn Network, started to emerge, in the Big 12, Texas sort of saved the Big 12 at the time. It was, I can't really blame Larry Scott there, but what I can blame Larry Scott for is, sitting pat in 2019, coming out and saying we have the best TV contract, we don't have to add any teams, no foresight whatsoever at all, and just sort of sitting back and letting his conference get poached. USC and UCLA, people think these things occur, in a week.
Overnight,
there were years of discussion between USC and UCLA and the Big Ten to get this done. And Larry Scott's just whistling in the wind, letting this occur over years. It's the same thing with Texas and Oklahoma and the SEC. It's done. Oregon State and Washington State are the victims here because Cal and Stanford are a really good fit for the Big Ten. I don't know if the Big Ten wants them, but honestly, if I was a Big Ten and I'm going to 20, I would take them simply because it would lessen the travel. Because the football players, the chartered flights, they're professionals now. They're used to, if they have to go to Rutgers for a game on a weekend, they can handle that. The women's volleyball players at USC having to travel across the country, riding coach on Southwest Airlines to play in Piscataway, New Jersey. 3-hour time difference, loss of time and travel.
Equipment driver.
So to alleviate that, of course, now you've got, USC and UCLA will play each other, and Oregon and Washington. You get Cal and Stanford in there, and you have some sort of, second tier scheduling for the student athletes that aren't moneymakers, tennis, volleyball, whatever sport, and don't put the requirements on them to travel cross country as much as the football. So that's why I think Cal and Stanford would be a good fit for the Big Ten, because it alleviates some of that travel issue. If they care about student athletes, which they say they do, if they care about academics, which they say they do, prove it. Go get Cal, Stanford, make it 20, alleviate the travel pressure for those non-revenue generating sports. But if they don't, ACC will bring in Cal and Stanford most likely, which will put a lot of pressure on those East Coast schools to travel out west and the non-revenue, athletes. Oregon and Washington State don't have a home. Unfortunately for them, nobody wants them. They're going to have to join with the Mountain West, and that's not a conference that's going to be playing for the national championship. Now, you do have an expanded playoff where you'll get one group of 5 teams, so they'll be able to, in a perfect season, they go 12-0 somehow, and they get in there. That's the one shot they have, but it's over for the Pac-12. And the ACC's next. I mean, that TV deal sucks. It's until 2036. They've got the grant of rights. That's great for them. These teams do not want to pay, future revenue. They don't want to start making revenue on TV deals till 2036. apparently airtight, or somebody would have got it up by now. But Florida State itself, the president came out and said, yeah, we're looking into getting out of this. And we'll take he didn't say this, but this is what I heard. They'll take a loan. They'll take a loan for future losses, pay it back at a low percentage just to get out of this mess. And then look to, honestly, 2036 as a massive revenue generating change for them because they're so pissed off. Now, I think it's posturing. They can't leave. They can't afford that. But the ACC has to restructure their revenue distribution now, where Florida State and Clemson get more money than the rest because they're the teams that people care about, and Miami. And that's where we're headed. And the ACC's only chance of surviving is revenue redistribution. So that's the next step.
And the president of North Carolina came out and basically called him out and said, he shouldn't be doing that and saying that. This is we need Florida State to stand strong and all that type of stuff. It's an interesting landscape right now, man. I don't know where we're going to be headed. It's crazy though.
But they signed the deal, man. You sign a deal. Let's say you're the coach, and you sign a 5-year deal. You signed the deal. Now you go 12-0 your first 2 years. You want a restructured deal? They could do that depending on the buyout and all that stuff. But the buyout is 100% prohibitive for these teams. Why would the ACC? Why would any ESPN with the TV deal? Why would they go back and say, "Yeah, we're sorry, you signed a really crap deal. Sorry, let's redo it."
Right?
Why? They're not going to do that. And so the other teams in the ACC are going to be like, "Why are we doing revenue redistribution?" And honestly, Florida State's been good 1 year since they won a national championship. So, they're barking the loudest. But, if I'm a team like, I don't know, Pitt, who's been better than Florida State, over these last 6-7 years, I'm not giving you more. But they did the revenue redistribution based on, teams making the college football playoff, teams making the ACC championship, and that went through. And so this new revenue redistribution will go through as well. But you sign a suck deal, you got to live with it. It's just the way it is. So shut up. You signed it. Shut up.
You can't say that, Mike. We're living in the transfer portal era. They can't take that. They just want to enter the portal.
Yeah, good luck. Okay, you pay $300 million of future revenue losses to enter the portal. Go ahead. Get out of here. and see who follows you. This big seven garbage in the ACC, North Carolina and Miami and Clemson and Florida State, Louisville, on and on. Good luck. Yeah, you want to give up that much money? And this is a greedy society. This is the reason why USC and UCLA left. This is the reason why everybody left the Big 12, the Pac-12 to go elsewhere. It's a greedy society. The president of Florida State, now the board of directors direct what he's going to do. He's posturing. He goes and says, we're going to leave. We're breaking the grant of rights. We're giving up $300 million of revenue. He's dead. They're just done. And it's not going to happen. So you can posture all you want. You signed a suck deal. You've fallen way behind. Eventually, now that we got a big four, you're going to have the worst TV deal out of anybody by 2030. But you're stuck.
Let me ask you this. How much betting do you think we're seeing more and more betting issues? Iowa State debacle with the quarterback and and now they're coming out with another kid that got caught basketball bet $38,000 worth of basketball games last year, and it's starting to come out more and more. It's trickling in the NFL. They're betting on their own guys, Detroit Lion players and Colt player, and we got all these issues. How much betting money do you think is making these schools say, all right, we got to shit or get off the pot here? We better start getting to these things, because here's what I've been told by agents, NFL agents, my own included. Agents are telling these players, you ain't going to the NFL. Stay your butt right here for 5 years. Use the COVID year as well, and you make more money than your first rookie contract in the NFL. Like, let that sink in. Do you imagine that? Like, that's what's being told to these kids that are tweener kids. Obviously not the first round kid, Caleb Williams or Drake May or none of these. They're going to go after their eligibility third year out of high school reaches their peak. They can get out. But these other guys, why would you leave? You're going to enter the portal again, go get a new bag of money at let's say, Tennessee. And if you got another year, which COVID's allotted you to have, a fifth year of playing on the field, why not stay? It's going to equal or surpass your NFL rookie contracts. And that's what agents are now telling them. In our next get, Matt McChesney, he's going to say, you need to unionize, similar to what you said to start the show. These players need to unionize and say, screw it. We'll sit out unless we get paid for what we're worth, because basically you're making billions and it's back to square one, like NCAA.
People think you can make that much money in NIL because all these numbers have been floated out. You know, Nico Iamaleava at Tennessee, $8 million man. You know, the whole
I coached Rico. His dad was my tight end in JUCO. Mike, the average NIL deal is $300.
Right. It's not. It's so, you know, Jaden Rashada, you know, going to Miami and then getting a better NIL deal at Florida and then decommitting there and wanting more money, ends up at Arizona State and he's got nothing. Like all these blown out of proportion numbers make kids think that they can stay in college. Now, Caleb Williams, you know, he can make money with NIL. Nothing compared to what he's going to make as a, you know, top 2 NFL draft pick. You can make money, but the problem is you can't survive on it. If you're a mid-level guy, mid-rounder, and you stay an extra year, you know, you may be able to get an NIL deal. You may be able to jump in the portal. Maybe somebody hands you a bag. I don't know. It's still not going to be comparable to what you can make in the NFL if you're successful. So all these people who are saying, you know, do this, do that, milk it for 5 years, make money in college. You can make a little, but NIL is so overblown. Arch Manning can make a ton of money in NIL because his last name is Manning. Arch Smith isn't making anything, not crap. And so, you know, all this thing, I've been in the NIL world a little bit. I dipped my toe in it a couple of times when it first started, and I do some consulting for some NIL companies. The money is not anything what people think it is. And the reason for that is initially it was. In that first year of NIL, when Spencer Rattler was a hot commodity at Oklahoma, and Sam Howell was a big deal at UNC, you know, and on, Derek King at Miami, they got good money and they all faltered. Rattler lost his job. Sam Howell had a bad year, ended up as a mid-rounder. He was projected to be a first-rounder. Derek King got hurt. All these dudes got hurt, and everybody lost money. Quinn Ewers, people invested a lot of money in him at Ohio State. You know how many freaking helmets and jerseys are signed to Quinn Ewers at Ohio State that are in a landfill right now? They lost a ton of money on these kids, and everybody reset the market and said, I'm not doing this. You become established where you are, you know, then I'll pay you. But I'm not paying you out of high school. I'm not paying you if you're going to transfer. There's clauses in these NIL contracts now. You can't make the money there. So, you know, I think people are really, you know, they're uneducated about NIL. They think a kid gets a bag from Alabama, or they think Nico's getting $8 million. He's not getting $8 million. Not even close. So everybody's got to chill on that stuff, because the kids hear it. You know, the fans hear it and believe it. The kids hear it and believe it. Then the first question they're asking in their living room is, how much can you make me? And the coaches are like, I'm not making you anything. You got to come here and prove it. And that's where we're at mentality-wise with these kids. You know, they're getting promises. Of course, Texas A&M class got a lot of promises. Didn't really come through.
Mike, I spoke to Louisville's whiteout group the other day. A good friend of mine's a whiteout coach there. Eric McGee's been around for a while. He and I played for Jeff Brom in the Arena League. You know, it's funny that they were talking about this exact thing, and they're like, you guys aren't making no money, and it's really, really hard to cuss out a kid now, coach him hard, because the other kid that's in that room, let's say the fourth wideout who plays minimal reps, he's now looking for greener pastures because he's not getting the same bag, so to speak. And now it's hard to coach these guys because these kids will just go in the portal and enter it during spring ball. I mean, there's no shame in it anymore. They're doing it in basketball on the damn jet on the way home after losing in a Sweet 16 game. So like it's becoming kind of a mockery to me. But you know what he's saying? They're going into like these 3-star wideout homes, and the mom, instead of cooking them a meal like it used to be back in the day when we go in to recruit, now it's, here's our number, coach. Can you make it happen? This one kid told Louisville we want $300,000, and Brom and them were like, man, you're not even that good. Like, it's crazy right now. Now like you just said, though, everyone thinks this $8 million thing is real. So now everybody thinks they're worth 300 grand, 400 grand, even these low tier guys. And it's making college football, man, NFL free agency without a return, like Lane says.
So two stories real quick. Dante Moore, the quarterback out of Michigan, committed to Oregon. He had a great relationship with Kenny Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham takes a job at Arizona State. He opens up his recruitment. He ends up going to UCLA for NIL, 100% NIL. Now, not signed, sealed, and delivered, but promises of NIL. We're already hearing rumblings that Dante Moore's unhappy with his NIL deal. Now, promises. UCLA has a horrible NIL collective. But it's the LA market. They sold them on this, that, and the other. You could be a superstar, all this other stuff. That's, an example of a kid making a choice based on NIL. And originally his choice had nothing to do with NIL. He wasn't asking for a bag. He wanted to go to Oregon. He loved Kenny. And then, that fell apart a little bit. And then he went for the bag, and now he's having trouble. The other things, 2023 class, I won't say the school, they signed 7 defensive linemen. Okay, each one of those defensive linemen was told by the defensive line coach and the defensive coordinator that you are our number one NIL priority. Okay, they don't talk to each other. Kids do now, but they didn't talk to each other. All of a sudden, these guys commit, they sign, they start talking to each other. Each one tells the other one, I was told I was going to get the number one bag. I was told this. A meeting has to occur already in fall camp with those 7 dudes explaining the lies that they were all told. And they're pissed. They're all like, listen, you told me this, you told me this. 7 guys looking at the coach and the coordinator and the defensive line coach saying, you promised me this, and you promised that guy the same thing, and that guy the same thing, and that guy the same thing. And that whole class is going to blow up. So this is where we're at now. Promises are made. They are lies. It used to be lying about stuff like, I'll give you this number, or, you can be, this jersey number, or you're going to be our starter, or you're going to be in the 2 deep immediately. That type of lies. Now we're talking monetary lies, and kids are getting upset by it because they're falling for it. And then they're going to end up in the portal. And then they're going to be a little bit jaded because they want to recoup that money they were promised. And then they're going to go to a school like Louisville and say, I want $300,000. And Louis is going to laugh at them. Everybody's falling for this garbage. And I just don't know. NIL, we're not even close to what NIL is going to be. We're about 5 years away from real NIL. Right now, it's just a joke. It's just a bunch of people jumping in, trying to see if they can make money off these kids, lying to them. People think NIL is a big deal now. It's not even close to a big deal. It will be soon, but it's got to be figured out. And you got to let the market reset at least 3 or 4 times. It's already reset once. It's going to reset a couple more times. And then we're going to start to get into real stuff. But now it's all phony garbage. It's all lies.
You got economic inflation, and the country's economics is in shambles. So you got that too to worry about. These collectives are now starting to be like, I can't do it right now. And now that kid's looking for the next place where sometime maybe if this gets worse, the money won't even be there. And a lot of these schools are going to have to, there's going to be the cream of the crop. You're going to have the A&Ms, the Georgias, the Alabamas, and maybe SC, Ohio State, and Michigan. You're not going to have a lot of other ones. There's just no resources out there. Here's a little deeper dive, though. Before you get out of here, a couple minutes, I appreciate you jumping on. Follow Mike on Twitter. It's on the ticker below. Let me ask you this, Mike. The deeper story is, but people don't want to talk about this recruiting side, is let's say Darnell is just a running back coach, and he's the one bringing in all these big-time players. He's the one in the home with the mom and telling them, this is the money you're getting. This is what Coach Saban said. My head coach has said, blah, blah, blah. To go to your point where you just mentioned, now we're meeting with 7 kids because the money it's not being guaranteed. It was promised to me by Darnell, but it's not being met. That coach, Darnell, now is in a huge stressful situation because he's the one that got the kid signed, and now they're looking at him, and he's a low-end guy on the totem pole. He's a running back coach. So, like, now these coaches, these younger coaches are trying to get out of college football right now, and they're trying to get in the NFL minority programs, NFL as whatever, analysts or what have you. You're seeing a lot of guys get out of college. And I've been told several times this spring, man, by head coaches, Power 5 head coaches and buddies of mine, JB, if I could work at Walmart and make this money, I would be out of here tomorrow.
Everybody wants to get out of college football.
It's
Everybody.
bad.
And it's just the workload too. It's not just the responsibility. I mean, yeah, that particular incident, that particular coach not only has to deal with the family, but he has to deal with the high school coach. He has to deal with the 7-on-7 dude. He has to deal with all the people involved in that guy's recruiting. And he comes back to recruit another kid, and he's got no credibility left, and his name is smeared. But the other part about it is it's year round. There's no days off. It's it's always been difficult to recruit on a high school level. You always had maybe the month of July where you could just chill a little bit. But now it's not just recruiting. It's you have to manage your own roster. You have to re-recruit those guys and keep them out of the portal. You have to deal with this NIL situation and manage a team, where your defensive line room could be divided based on who's making what. You also have an issue where you're talking to a defensive back who's a high school kid in 2024 class, and he's being talked about, getting more money than your third-year starter on your own team, and it gets back to him. So you got to babysit, you got to manage. It's year-round, it's every day, and it's becoming exhausting for everybody. So I've talked to a ton of coaches that would love to get out and move to the NFL. The problem is the NFL only has a certain amount of jobs. You're not going to make the same money there unless you're really, really good. But the stressor on these, and the NCAA, we always bash the NCAA. There's no solution for it, because if you put in, guidelines, let's say, okay, you can't tamper. Well, if you don't tamper, you're not trying, and you're doing a disservice. If you're the team that doesn't tamper in the portal, you're going to fall far behind your rival who is tampering like crazy. So if you're not cheating, you're not trying now. If you're not tampering, you're not trying now. And so you're encouraged to do that even more, which is more work. So they've propped up these transfer portal windows, which are garbage, 45 days and then 15 in the spring. That makes it worse. It should stay 365. You can jump at the portal August 1st. You could jump at the portal March 1st. It doesn't matter what day. Because now you're at the end of the season. You're doing bowl prep. You're finishing the recruiting class, which signs in December. You're also working the FCS portal, which opens in late November. Then you've got the FBS portal. You're working on the second tier of your recruiting class, which signs in February. You're just doing 15 things, and you can't do any of them well, and it's really starting to stress the coaches.
I can only imagine, man. I mean, the workload of a coach has always been, at a high level, but now you're adding more to it. So I can only imagine. I want to ask you this, though, Mike. Yesterday, I think we had a poll question for our viewers and our fans about the transfer portal and about NIL. If you had to remove one of those from college sports, period, which one would you remove and why? Transfer portal or NIL?
Well, I would remove the portal, but it's a hard question to answer because, we just mentioned, coaches leaving, and they can leave whenever they want. And they don't have to enter a portal to do so. They don't have to pick a window to do so. They can just up and leave. And this isn't a slam on Kenny Dillingham at all. He got an opportunity to be a head football coach at a Power 5 school. Of course he's going to leave, and he's young. But he can leave, and if, Dante Moore had signed with Oregon, he can't. And there's no portal, or you have to sit out a year like you used to and 2 years in conference. That's unfair. But I can't say NIL because the TV contracts are worth billions of dollars. The schools are making millions and millions, and all this conference realignment is money grab and greed. And you're telling me that the players who are actually the product can't benefit from that? So I would get rid of the portal, but you can't get rid of either. You cannot have a kid stuck at a school when his coaches leave. I mean, Jordan Addison, everybody felt that was a money grab leaving Pitt, going to USC. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. The kid's never going to say it was a money grab. But he lost his offensive coordinator, and he lost his wide receiver coach. Now, he also lost his first-round quarterback, which he kind of made a first-rounder. But he lost two coaches, and they just left. I mean, Whipple just went to Nebraska, and him and Narduzzi didn't get along that well. Coach Marion left, went to Texas. They can leave whenever they want. And so you say to Jordan Addison, I know they left, but you can't. That's unfair. And you also can't say to Jordan Addison, listen, if you stay at Pitt, you can't make any money. Even though you're our most famous player, you're our Biletnikoff winner. A lot of the people are putting their seats in the butt because of you. You know, their butts in the seats because of you. So you can't eliminate both. It's not even a choice. Unfortunately, you have to have one with the other. Mike,
disagreements create great conversation. I disagree only because I think we're seeing this enabled kid product. I think like that's. Let me ask you this. I just want to get your take on this. Like the you and I, we're the head coach of Akron, and Miami calls us. We're 47, 50 years old. In that realm, we've been doing this for 35 plus years, whatever it may be in this business our whole life. We've been putting kids through college, raising our families. We've earned the right, in my opinion, to be the Walmart manager and get a higher paying job at Target, so to speak. I believe the grown-up has earned it. We're kind of putting 17 and 18-year-olds who don't even know how to change their oil in their car, the car keys, before they ever get to learn to drive it. And I think they should earn a little bit of that tough skin and develop some tough skin and understand the real world might hit them in the mouth. And it's not going to always be so easy just to quit and move out and go to another place. I get coaches can leave, but I think they've earned that right too. Now, here's my take, though. I'm playing devil's advocate. I would never leave if I promised 100 kids like Manny Diaz did at Temple, and I'm going to go take my dream job at Miami 2 weeks after my signing class. That's, to me, is kind of chicken shit. Now, here's the deal. I think the head coach should pay back the salary they've paid him, and I think he should lose scholarships at the new school. That is kind of what I've broken down before in this whole thing. I think there should be some consequence, but I don't think we should put the kid on the same level as the grown-up who's been doing this their whole life. So that's the debate I have. I don't know how you feel.
That's tough,
though. It's tough because here's the thing. Okay, so the adult has the opportunity to, establish a career over a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, as you're talking about. The kid's got 4 years, 5 at the most.
Thank you.
He does not have a chance to establish himself to the level of the coach. And we're saying, listen, I get it with the enabled kids. I get it with quitting the second something goes wrong. That's the way we are in society now. And us, old school guys don't like that. You don't transfer out at the first sign of trouble. You don't get in a meeting room and hear somebody lie to you and cry and get in the portal. I get all that. The problem I have is not only are coaches able to do it, but they're able to do it multiple times. Coach Marion, I love him to death. Great guy. And he's trajecting up. He went from Pitt's wide receiver coach to Texas's wide receiver coach. That's a step up. Now he's the offensive coordinator at UNLV. Now he gets that coordinator job on his resume. His next step and hope is to be a head football coach. He gets to do that. The kid does not, and he doesn't have as much time to establish. But we're talking about a 3-year period where Coach Marion goes from Pitt to Texas to UNLV. 3 years. Now, the kid's getting the 3 years too, but we're saying, he didn't put in 20 years at a school and finally get his dream job. He put in a year or two, then a year or two, then a year or two. And the kid's like, I don't have 15 years of college to do this. I got one shot. If I'm 5th in my receiver room and I want to be 3rd and I could be 3rd at another school, I'm going there because I got one shot at this. As Eminem says, man, you got one shot and you better take it. Because if you sit there, Mitch Trubisky worked out well, right? He got a big old contract in the NFL. He was a first-round pick. He sat, waited his turn, played 1 year. How many of those stories are there where kids wait? And you look at these guys in the NFL, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, name a star quarterback. And half of them are going to be guys who transferred. Kyler Murray, who I think stinks, but he's transferred. Joe Burrow transferred because he didn't get a shot at Ohio State. Jalen Hurts lost his job at Alabama, went to Oklahoma. They had the opportunity to do that. And we might not have Joe Burrow in the NFL if he's sitting there 3rd on the depth chart at Ohio State.
But those are outliers, in my opinion. Like, there's a few of those, but the 99 percentile is failing in the portal. They're felons.
The portal is filled with. So this is the thing that, Deion Sanders in Colorado, everybody says, he's going to kill it in the portal. Okay, so 95% of the dudes that Deion Sanders got in the portal were highly ranked high school kids from the Southeast who didn't succeed where they were. And now they're going to go to Colorado and go 3-9, and it's going to be negative 20 degrees in December and snowing. And they think that's greener pastures. It's not like everybody's Travis Hunter. It's not like everybody's Caleb Williams. These aren't superstars in the portal. Most of these kids left for a reason, academically, or they stunk. They didn't live up to expectations. They had off-field issues. The portal's littered with kids. But listen, you're a former JUCO coach, and not one kid came to your school without baggage. And it's your job to coach them up. And that's what Deion's job. You want to overturn 85% of your roster with portal kids? Good luck. Better do it well.
And
every one of those kids has problems.
Yeah, the transfer kids, we either took, there's three type of kids you get. You get the high school non-qualifier at the JUCO level. Majority of my roster was high school non-qualifier that were D1 kids on the radar of somebody that a coach placed with me because I had a good reputation of getting them graduated soon and getting them to that 4-year school. Or you get the shitbird who gets kicked out for weed, credit card, whatever it may be. And then you get the kid that just wasn't playing and wanted to play. Now, that kid was Jonathan Banks at Kansas State. I brought him to Indy. He goes to Tulane. Willie Fritz is 2-year starter at Tulane and does a great job. That type of kid, though, was where the portal used to be. JUCO. JUCO used to be the transfer portal.
Right.
And now it's imploding in front of our very eyes because you rather sit in the portal instead of go to a JUCO. And that is where it's kind of imploding this whole. I think JUCO is going to be done in 5 years, man. I really do, especially at the small, no resource school.
It will be reduced. You remember how the prep schools used to be a big deal?
Yeah.
Remember Hargrave Military?
Hargrave's gone.
Fork Union.
Fork Union's the only one I think thriving still or decent.
Milford Academy up here in the Northeast. Like these were programs that put out 20 Division I FBS kids a year, and now nobody goes prep school. First of all, everybody's getting kids in now. Like the academic fraud is, it's unbelievable. I mean, you can get a kid in as long as he can put an X next to his name now. It used to be like you couldn't get kids in and then they would have to go to JUCO. Now, different. I will tell you, there are some smart schools out there, though, that continue to recruit the JUCOs strong. Brett Bielema at Illinois is a great example of that. You do that and don't rely on the portal. You're going to have a more successful
Well, Bobby
football.
P just did it at damn Missouri State and went and had a great year his second year, and then he's back at Texas A&M now, but he did a hell of a job at Missouri State grabbing a bunch of Kansas JUCO kids and did what the FCS schools didn't want to do. And so,
So there's still a market out there, but it's a reduced market. I agree with you. The JUCOs are going to not die off, but they're going to be limited, just like the prep schools are limited. And the portal is going to get worse. It's not going to get better. I mean, the statistics on the portal, it's just going to be more and more. And they were going to do this deal where, you had unlimited entries into the portal, and then they backed off of that. But that's going to happen. You'll be able to transfer multiple times in a year. Eventually, you're going to see this, and people don't want to hear this. Eventually, you're going to be able to see kids transfer and suit up the next week for their school. I'm going to leave Florida State and I'm going to Ohio State, and I just played Miami. I didn't have a good game. I'm upset. I'm playing Michigan the next week. That's going to happen.
That's going to be crazy.
Well, once we get corporations involved, we're going to get trades and stuff too, which is going to be kind of fun. I'm going to give you 2 of my high school scholarship kids in 2024 for your, third string tight end. There's going to be trades. All of this stuff that's fun in the NFL is coming to college football. The problem is the college football traditionalists don't want to see any of this stuff because it's so new and kind of gross. But the amateurism, the innocence of college football is dead, is dying every day. And we're just going to have to adjust to the new world, which is all these things we're talking about. You're not going to eliminate the portal. You're not going to eliminate NIL. NIL is nothing right now. It's going to be on steroids in 5-10 years. You're not going to be able to limit the portal. It's only going to get worse. And you're going to have trades. You're going to have mid-season transfers. You're going to have all this stuff. So buckle up. You got to be ready for it. And it's going to make things more interesting. Listen, if a kid leaves Florida State to go to Ohio State and he's there the next week, I could write 15 articles on that.
Yeah,
That's
that
fun.
is true.
We could talk about that on a podcast for hours. That's fun.
What will happen? So and so just left this school. Now he's with Miami. How much better will they get? Will they make the like? It's a whole from a media standpoint, it's golden. From actual, from the NCAA standpoint, I don't know how great it is, but I get it, and I think I agree with you as well, Mike. There's really no solution to all of this. It's just a figure, just ways to maybe make things a little better, and operationally with NIL, with transfer portal. But at the end of the day, it's here to stay, and I think we just got to learn to live with it.
Not them. I was talking to somebody this morning. They said, well, why can't we stop the Pac-12? Why didn't they have a grant of rights like the ACC did? Because the foresight wasn't there, and it's too late. You can't save them, but you can learn from that. If I'm the Big Ten and the SEC, I'm going to my member institutions and I'm saying, hey, guess what? We got a great TV deal. We're adding these schools, but you're signing this. You're not leaving. I want a grant of rights. And the schools may buck that. If I'm Ohio State, I'm not signing it. But I'm making the effort to stop what occurred to the Pac-12. I'm learning a lesson from the Pac-12 because people don't think this, and it sounds like the dumbest thing you'd ever say. In 10 years from now, we could be talking about the dismantlement of the SEC, and people are gonna be like, "You're smoking crack."
Hey, Mike, I know you're getting out of here, Mike. You got 1 minute. I want to bring Matt on, and he's dealing with this at Colorado and everywhere else. That's an interesting take. I want to ask him. Matt, what up?
Morning.
Hey, Mike has an interesting take, man. Mike writes college football exposés and articles all over the place, and great dude. I don't know if you guys have met, but he had an interesting take right now, man. Where do you stand? I know you're both on the same unionized level as far as these college athletes. He just said that pretty soon, man, in 5 years, you may be seeing a kid play at Miami and transfer and play at Ohio State the very next week. You see that?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it at all. I think that this – like I flip-flop on this a lot, but look, at this point, if the players can't read the writing on the wall that all this money is getting thrown around and they don't have a piece of it, then they deserve not to get any of it. If they're too stupid to figure out a way to unionize as a group and say, we're not going to play until you cut us in on the TV revenue and you cut us in on the merch and you cut us in on not this just this NIL bullshit where it's like, go to practice, go to class, you're 19 years old in a new city and you're supposed to go find NIL deals for yourself. Yeah, that sounds great, but it's also a lot harder than people think it is. So, they don't have agents, they don't have money managers, they don't have proper representation in that regard. They don't have a union that can stand behind them if they get suspended to counter that. And I think that, the NCAA and the NIL, they kind of just threw this at everybody. And the players were so happy to get anything that they took it. It's like a starving dog and a bone. We could get the whole steak if we just fought a little bit harder, but we'll take the bone. I personally think that the players should strike. No one should play. And they should say, until you cut us in and we start getting the money that is due to us, we are not going to do it. No one's going to show up to watch the walk-ons. No offense to all the walk-ons out there that are now going to get offended and send an email and have mom call me and be like, oh my God, you offended my son in Ohio that you don't know. So I personally think that the NIL and the transfer portal and conference realignment, look, if you don't like the way things are going, stop watching college football. This is what it is. Money dominates everything. And to be completely honest with you, it should. They make a ton of it. And this is my point. The players are so happy to just play and get free school that I don't know how much money they're missing out on, but it is a lot.
You agree with that, Mike?
I agree with it, but it's hard because that number 7 offensive lineman who's relying on that $250,000 scholarship, who's not going to get a penny in NIL, who doesn't have an NFL future, for him to sit out, while that starting quarterback who could sit out a year and really, make waves. It's just hard to get everybody together to do that because it's not an equal world. If Drake May sits out, that changes things, but if that second string right guard who's never going to sniff an NIL deal or the NFL sits out and loses his scholarship, That's a big sacrifice for him to make. And so getting everybody on the same page, Northwestern tried to unionize a few years ago. And those are smart kids, like smart kids who academics are first, scholarships, everything. And it didn't work. You can't get everybody on the same page for that. It's tough without a players union. And then you get a players union. And then you're talking to, again, okay, Caleb Williams is going to be okay. He's going to make millions. He's going to be the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. A freaking, scholarship long snapper on that team, he's not going to be okay. And he's given up a free ride to school to change history. And he's not going to want to do that.
Up a free ride if he strikes. You think everybody that strikes is going to get released?
I think they're going to pull their scholarships 100%.
So you think if every single kid across the country just doesn't play?
No, I agree.
It's going to.
I agree. No, but get every kid to sit out. Good luck.
I'm just saying. Look, but we shouldn't not do something because it's hard. That's why it never gets done, because everybody just sits around and talks about how impossible it is to do, and then everyone agrees with that bullshit and never gets. Now look,
but I have to sacrifice my.
Well,
I have to sacrifice my opportunity for a kid's 10 years from now. I'm not doing that.
Sometimes somebody needs to be sacrificed.
Yeah, but good luck in this day and age to get somebody to sacrifice for a generation behind them. I mean, this isn't the United States we used to have, where people, volunteered to be in the military to fight in World War II because they wanted to protect their country. This is a pansy world filled with soft kids who are not going to do what you're saying. I mean, my dad was in the Marines. He signed up to go to World War II and fought in Okinawa. There's no more of my dads out there. There's none. There's no 17-year-old kids like my dad. And I'm not even talking about fighting for your life in Okinawa. I'm talking about giving up a scholarship. These kids won't do it. They're pansy.
I'm not going to disrespect your father and what he did, but to say that there's nobody out there that's tough and cares. I just had a gym full of kids at 6 a.m. busting their fucking ass this morning. I know I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that there's a lot of really smart, really tough kids in this generation. I work with a ton of them that if they could find a figurehead, if Caleb Williams or Drake May or one of these big timers came out and sacrificed their future to help the greater good, they wouldn't be able to play. And I'm not saying it would be easy, but to say we can't do it because it's hard, that's what the NCAA and all the coaches want. They just want all of the players to say, oh, it's too hard to do, so let's not do it. And then everybody goes, they just figured out that it's too hard to do, so now we're off the hook. And that's just my opinion.
No, I agree. I think Mike got a call.
I pissed him off and he left.
No, I think he'll pop back in. He's still in, but I think he got a call and it
phones suck. Phones are stupid.
I know.
Did somebody call you?
I piss Mike off. I go, nah, he's got a damn phone call.
Matt, dog, it's all good. Just conversation. Shit.
No, he's good. Mike's good, dude.
What's fucking with you?
Hey, let me see. Maybe Mike, you good?
I'm bad.
Hey, take your call. I know you're busy, man. You've been on for an hour. I can't thank you enough, man.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll have to do it again soon, man.
My last point to that, I agree with you, but Caleb Williams isn't giving up anything by sitting out. He's still going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. He's still going to make $200 million. He's not giving up anything.
Yeah.
And so to get those other kids to follow suit with him, it's hard. I'm not saying there's no good kids out there. I'm just saying in this world of selfishness, which has increased exponentially every decade, it's going to be hard. I'll leave you on that point. It was great being on the show. And
nice
I respect all you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, Mike, appreciate you, brother.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, Matt, let's get to brass tacks. Fuck, Matt! Hey,
what?
I don't know. I just wanted to cuss. I haven't
Spazzing out. I told you, you got ADHD or something, man. You got Tourette's a little bit.
Cussed all show. I miss Matt, man. I miss fucking fighting Matt. Hey, Matt, let's talk about Pac-12, man. Brass tacks. I know you mentioned on Twitter. Let's get UNLV in San Diego, Boise, San Jose, Fresno, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I talked to Mike about it. I agree logically, geographically, but resourceful-wise, facility-wise, just because they moved to what we call the Pac-10 or Pac-12, are they still going to just ultimately just overnight move up to being a Pac-5 or a Power 5 institution, I don't think that's possible.
No way. And look, with the ACC sniffing around and probably taking Stanford and Cal, which, I mean, it's weird, but it's no weirder than the Big Ten having teams at Rutgers and Maryland and Oregon and Washington and UCLA and USC. So the geographic part of this is over and dead. And that's okay. I mean, I this whole argument made by the Missouri head coach about, like, somehow, I don't understand this. I don't understand how college football players who are tough as nails, most of them that I know, can't just do extra shit that regular people can't do. Like, a regular person can take a red eye from Stanford or from San Francisco to New York and play Rutgers, wake up the next day and go to a meeting and do their job and go to dinner and take sleep it off and fly home. Why can't, like, this, they're amateurs. They're not amateurs. They're grown fucking men. Find a college kid and call him a kid and see how that goes. All right. I don't understand.
Oh man.
But exactly. I don't understand why this narrative is out there that, like, they can't handle making money. They can't handle the travel. Like, dog, this is what it is. It's now a national conference from coast to coast, sea to shining sea. And you got to get in where you fit in. And I'm sorry, but if history class needs to be sacrificed in order for us to go on a road trip and kick somebody's ass, well, fuck, I'm not here to go to history class anyway. I'm tired of this bullshit. Oh, the second team long snapper isn't going to have his scholarship. Sorry, that sucks. Like, get in where you fucking fit in. That's the world we live in now. This is no longer.
Hey, man, not to cut you off. Do you see that happening? And then the second string long snapper saying, fuck you, I'm going to go play lacrosse. And your college team no longer has long snappers, punters, kickers.
Trust me, bro, we can find somebody to fucking long snap quick.
That's what I'm saying, though.
If the kicker's good enough, he'll get money. And look, there's enough money to pay everyone. That's my point. Instead of just
do you agree with? So you're not agreeing with this Drinkle comment at Missouri, then?
No, I think it's fucking stupid. I think it's just something else that he wants to be on one side of the argument, so that's what he says.
Because Missouri actually is one of these schools. They left for the SEC. I know it's not geographically as far as Cal going to Virginia.
No, the SEC doesn't have any travel restrictions. Like, their longest flight is 3 hours. Like, he shouldn't be saying fucking anything.
That's what I'm saying. He's talking about girls volleyball traveling from Cal to Rutgers, but
and that's kind of the other thing too here, boys, is no offense to the other sports, but I don't give a shit.
I agree.
I apologize that, like, the fucking women's softball team and the men's baseball team are going to have worse travel, but without the football team, you wouldn't even have a fucking team. So what are we talking about?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Without the football team, none of these fucking institutions even have a sports department like that. You don't make none of them make any money other than football and a few basketball schools. So
let me throw this at you. I didn't ask Mike. I was going to ask Mike this. He writes a lot of good columns. What if we took all they're not parochial schools no more. They're let's just say private. Let's say the Cals of the world and the Stanfords and not SC, of course, they're too big. But let's say Wake Forest and Vanderbilt and add the Army Navies in there. Why don't we create a private league of Power Fives that can compete with each other? They're not going to compete in Vanderbilt and Wake Forest leaving their respective conferences, going somewhere else. Doesn't really matter. Let's play each other. I don't know.
If you were to make an academic conference, Vanderbilt's never going to leave the SEC. They're going to make too much money. But I would like to see a situation where they start kicking teams out of conferences, honestly, because like this reality that you can't lose your spot is also ridiculous. Like that, I think that's the next piece of this is we would rather have, like, if you're the SEC and they invite Clemson, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and let's say North Carolina, but they want Virginia and Virginia Tech too. All right, well then fuck. Let's just get rid of Vandy and Missouri and tell Missouri to go back to the Big 12 and Vanderbilt, you can go independent. And then what does Notre Dame do? And that's the academic conferences, all three of the service academies, Notre Dame, Stanford, Cal, Remember how good Rice used to be in the Southwest Conference. Now they're an incredible academic institution. Like, you just go around the country and scoop up all the high academics, and you got a 12-team academic conference.
Hell
and
yeah.
honestly, like, it could be a pretty good conference if it's done correctly. But
So the military schools in there, they're still high academic too. I mean,
yeah, I think that would be awesome. But look, if the Pac-12 wants to invite all these Mountain West schools, you know, like yesterday on Altitude, I praised Colorado State and was like, look, they should try and get into the Pac-12 or the merger or whatever to help raise their brand, but nobody goes to their games. They can't fill up their brand new stadium. Like, if you want me to take you seriously, you know, CU's 1-11 last year. It's the worst team in college football, and they're sold out. Every home game to the brim. You can't get a ticket. So, and it just flew into this year where now, I mean, I don't know if you're watching any of these videos, but anybody who thinks CU is not going to win more than 4 games, you're fucking crazy. They got dudes, bro. Shador is real. Travis Hunter might be the top pick in the draft next year, how good and how versatile he is. Their O-line and D-line look mean and aggressive. And this is just the foundational level that they're building this on. So, you know, I think that the Pac-12 is probably dead, the Pac-4, you know, especially if Stanford and Cal leave. Look, Washington State and Oregon State's nationally ranked, and they could win the Pac-12 this year. They're fucking really good. Why can't those 2 schools get into the Big 12? Like, why wouldn't you want to go get Washington State and Oregon State? Oregon State especially, Corvette, they got their stadium's huge. They just renovated it. I mean, Corvallis, I know it's a pain in the ass to get there, just like Pullman, but there's a lot of places in college football that are – West Virginia is not fun to travel to. That shit sucks.
Yeah, Huntington West, or how about Marshall? I got to ask you, though, the president of Oregon State and Washington State have to be fucking irate. Like, you just built a stadium, you built all this stuff, you got, you know, new this, new that, and now you don't have a conference. Like, it's got to be disheartening.
The Big 12 needs to take these 2 in because they're quality programs, and it just gives you 2 more squads. And look, I agree, bro. Like, I've got a guy in here, Jackson Cowgirl, the big D lineman up at Erie, who's committed to Washington State. And like, the first thing he said to me when he walked in was like, I love this school. This is where I want to play. I don't know what to do. Like, when I go there, they're not going to be in the Pac-12 anymore. And everything that I committed to may not even be there. They might be an independent and playing New Mexico State and shit. Like, that's not fucking cool. So this is a problem, but it's not one that can't be solved.
What do you do at Washington State right now as the head coach, and you're sitting there and you're going to start seeing decommit like crazy? You might not even have a fucking 50-man roster here shortly. Like, it's going to be bad.
I think where you think that there's maybe panic and people abandoning ship, I think there's going to be ultimate buy-in. I think Washington State and Oregon State this year are going to be fucking really good. I think the kids are going to play their balls off. I think they're going to rally together and say, okay, Pac-12, fuck you, especially Oregon State, because they are.
No, I agree with you this year. I'm talking about for the 24 commits.
If they don't figure it out, they're in real trouble.
And you're in trouble, and you're like sitting there like, holy shit. Yeah, what are you going to do? And then let's say, and then I agree with you on another note. You're talking about getting players. I agree. They're going to get players, but they're going to get a lot of mid, as these youngsters say, players, because they're a group of 5 kids wanting to go there because they don't want to go to Akron. They'll go to Washington State.
What the fuck are they going to do here on the West Coast? Like, the Mountain West, their TV deal is like between $5 and $8 million a team or something like that. The Apple TV deal, this horse shit that this guy from the Pac-12 threw out, which is a joke.
What the hell is that?
Still at like 20 million or more. So isn't that significantly more money for the Mountain West to jump into the Pac-12? But if I'm a Mountain West school, I'm looking at it and going, well, why would we jump? They can't even get a fucking TV deal. Like, why can't we just absorb some of the teams? And like, if I'm the Mountain West and they're sitting at what, they have 14 teams? Yeah. You add Oregon State and Washington State, that's 16. And then if I'm them, I'm going to go try and get SMU to get in the conference. I'm going to try and go get Tulane. I'm going to go get Memphis. I'm going to go get Tulsa. I'm going to go whoever. I'm going to go get 4 more teams and get to 20 and then be like, okay, now when it comes to renegotiation time for the TV deals, now we actually got a big conference that we can negotiate a relatively good mid-level TV deal that keeps everybody happy, that's above $20 million and puts the conference on TV. Like, if I'm the Mountain West and Conference USA, I may think about just merging and getting these, the schools that are going to be cast off in. Because when the ACC's next, and it is, anybody who thinks it's not, you're crazy. When Florida State and Clemson leave, when Virginia and Virginia Tech start looking, when all 4 of the Carolina schools start looking, when the Big 12 goes, okay, West Virginia and Pitt, the border war, back. When Louisville and Cincinnati are across the river from each other, that makes too much sense not to do. We're in the Big 12's in Florida now. UCF needs a rival. Well,
Kentucky, Louisville.
The U is right down the street. If the SEC doesn't want the U's in the Big 12. That's or you're looking at it like, do I invite Virginia and Virginia Tech and have the Commonwealth rivalry in the conference? Like, that's what's next. Then all those leftover ACC schools, they're going to have to go somewhere. I mean, shit, man, they're missing so much. They're missing out on so much money that at some point people are going to have to make really, really, really hard decisions here. And we're seeing it all over college football. It sucks for the fan bases to a point. But I'll tell you this, as a Colorado alum and fan, I couldn't be more ecstatic about the move back to the Big 12. I've talked to you guys about this countless times, especially you, Coach. I hated the move. I never thought CU was a Pacific 10 school ever. And we really lost something when we moved there. And going back now and having the ability, like, I hope that they split it up into pods. So, like, BYU, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State play each other every year. And then all the Texas 4 play each other every year. And then Iowa State, Cincinnati, West Virginia, and UCF play each other every year because those are the 4 most Eastern schools. And then CU, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State play each other every year. And Oklahoma State just lost the Sooners in their rivalry. And CU and Kansas State hate each other. There's a bunch of Big 12 North rivalries there. You can strum up one with Oklahoma State and Colorado, old Big 8 rivals. So there's a lot of history there that these teams can lean back on. And the addition of 4 more teams puts the Big 12 at 20, which is where everybody's going. So how long do you guys think it is before the ACC actually crumbles? I know they got this Bill of Rights and grants and all this other bullshit, but it will get broken. You can sit here and talk about, like, this fucking piece of paper I have right here that has your signature on it means you can't leave. And they're like, oh, okay, watch me.
They're out. They're out. And man, let's be honest, before you get out of here, let me be honest. This has happened before. I don't know what everyone's up in arms. Like you just said, Colorado came to the Pac-12 with Utah. Those 2 schools never were thought to be Pacific West teams. Like we've seen this before. Like we've seen the movement and all this before.
One could argue that this all started when SMU got the death penalty. When SMU got the death penalty and the Southwest Conference crumbled, that was the first blood in the water moment. And then you had Arkansas going to the SEC and the 4 teams going to the Big 12, and Rice and Houston end up in the fucking Conference USA, and like Houston's winning Heisman's one day and then fucking like just in the doormat of college football after that. So it has happened before. And I guess here's my question for you guys is, when is it going to stop? Like, is there always going to be this, or at some point is there going to be some settle, and then we're going to have 50 years of great college football again, because that's what it was like for about 100 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, man. Hey, before you get out of here, man, Zach Martin, he said, I'm not going back. Jerry Jones said, we signed you to the biggest O-line deal in 18. I'm not budging. I'm not paying you another dollar. Where do you see with that Zach Martin deal in Dallas?
Jerry Jones can talk as much shit as he wants, but the minute the backup screws up and Zach Martin's just sitting there looking at you, they're going to pay him and he'll be in camp. And
Dak those 6
you got to protect Dak. So, like,
what are we doing here? Like, you're not going to pay the best guard in football. He wants to get paid. You got to do it. He's a 99. I mean, the guy is a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer. Without him, you can't move the football. And Jerry Jones does this all the time. He acts like he can get away with this and play tough, and then the team struggles and it doesn't work. And look, I think Dak Prescott is extremely overrated anyway. If you don't want to protect him, he's totally fucked. I mean,
hey, Matt, you got 2 minutes. I want to ask that ACC question to our main man, Steve Kim. Steve, what up?
What up,
Morning.
Steve?
Morning.
Hey, when do you think the ACC blows up?
You mean it's not happening now? It's over. Just like I said, this is Escape from Saigon, and everyone's trying to get on one of those U.S. military helicopters because you could either be a team that's a player that's in the club or not. And Stanford is learning a lesson here. All your educational stuff, you're in the big business of college sports. We don't care about your Sears cups or trophies. If you don't take football seriously and understand what's going on, and Stanford's a great academic institution, but like I've said before as a football fan, don't ever let your university embarrass or get in the way of my football team. So, they better have their priorities straight. You know, I still think there's a group of Stanford people that love playing college football, big-time college football. So the reality is this. You're either going to be in one of those big conferences and there's only like 2, maybe 3, but more like 2, or you're just going to play a very high-level version of intramural football. So you don't have to like it. I don't really like it, but there's nothing you can do about it. You better get aboard and make sure your programs are good.
Hold on. Just because a team is not in the big 3 conferences does not mean you're playing intramurals. There are professional football players in the MAC and the Mountain West. There's professional football players in the Big Sky. They're all over the place. They're not playing intramurals. They just don't have the same resources.
I'm with you on that, Matt. But you know what? Let's be honest. Most of the American public will care about the teams. Can you theoretically make the playoffs?
Make them an intramural team, though, just because some fucking jerk off the bar doesn't care.
Hey, Matt, I want to get your take. I know you've been a Denver Broncos take. I want to get Steve's take on this. Please give us an update on Russell Weirdo for Steve Kim and the Denver Broncos' current state.
Look, I'm going back to training camp today. Russ has looked really, really bad and then good. Like he was incredibly terrible for the beginning of camp. The first couple of days were hard to watch, but over the last 3 days, he's been exceptional and he's been cleaning the pocket and delivering the football. And I don't know if he's being set up for success because they struggled so bad. And now, like, when the offensive coordinator and defense coordinator, head coach get together and they go, the defense is killing us. Can we call some plays in practice that makes us look good? I think that's kind of happening a little bit. I'm eager to see how they do today when I go over there. But first preseason game's Friday night. They're going to play in Arizona, and they should.
Are they all playing, I heard?
All the starters are playing at probably a quarter, which is what they should do.
They need to.
I think Russ is look, man, I think Russ is in a very, very, very tight situation here, bro. Like, essentially, last year, he was so awful, they got rid of the coach. And now, if he does that again, or if he's just average, they'll get rid of the player and keep the coach. So, they'll bite the bullet and take the hit on the financials and get rid of him and try and replace him with somebody else. And this is all on him. I mean, the roster is relatively deep, even though they've lost a couple of guys, but who hasn't? I'd like to think that he can figure this out, but bro, man, the bad days outweigh the good, and that's not a good thing.
Man. Real quick too, man, because I know you put this on, you kind of teased it last night on Twitter about the top 20 quarterbacks. I guess that was ranked by players. Do we have that available, Ethan?
Number 1 is number 2 is
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is a second-ranked quarterback. Yep. So top 5, you got Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, Allen.
Why does it say 1, 3, 6, 8, 32, 40? What the fuck is that?
Well, okay, so basically, they just did their top 100 players. So basically, they just pulled the top 20 of the quarterbacks from that list. Yep.
So this is their rankings in the top 100, and then their rankings as quarterbacks.
Correct. Yep.
So if the players think Pat Mahomes is 1, then I'm not crazy. You're not crazy, Smitty. Kim, how do you feel?
You're coming for coach. I can see it. He's my champion. He's my pound. Coach, you want to address that?
I mean, yeah, man. Where do you put him on this list? 20th?
Of quarterbacks or players.
Wait up, though, Matt. You're saying that he's your number one player or quarterback?
Could be both.
In the NFL right now, I think you'd be hard pressed not to put him at number one on both lists. Yeah.
Really, I haven't thought too much about number one overall player. I told you I have him at one right now because he's won the last two. I mean, he's won 2 Super Bowls, so I have him ahead of Burrow because of that matter. But as a player, though, I don't know. Like I got to ask you two something. Is he single? Would you argue? I mean, you probably both agree to this. Is he the most impactful player for his team? Obviously, he just won a Super Bowl, but I would argue Jalen Hurts may be more impactful. I would argue
Jalen Hurts is more impactful than Mahomes.
I mean, without Jalen Hurts, that Eagle team wasn't even close, bro. Let's be honest.
Well, hold on. The Eagle team went to a Super Bowl with Nick Foles 2 years earlier. How were they not close?
No, I said last year's team wasn't even close to Jalen Hurts not playing that game.
So wait.
I argue that he's the most impactful player on his particular.
So basically, you're saying like when Mahomes is out versus when Jalen Hurts is out, whether it's due to injury or whatever, you're saying the Chiefs still maintain, they're able to stay afloat more compared to the Eagles when Jalen Hurts is out.
I think there's a lot of players like that.
I think Minshew would step in and really play well in Hurts' absence. I do not want Chad Henne or whoever the backup is in Kansas City.
Well, he only beat Jacksonville.
That's great, but Mahomes, like there was a 50-year drought in Kansas City, and now they've been in 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. Like, I know you just don't like him because he's unorthodox, but he's incredibly talented.
I get it, but I mean, you got to tie that in. I tie that in with Andy Reid. I tie that in with a lot of things, but I get it. That's why I have him at 1. I mean, there's no argument. I have him at 1 right now. But here's the issue, though. I believe there's other players that if you take off those particular rosters, their teams are horrible.
Well, Tyreek Hill left and they won the Super Bowl again, and he was the MVP. So, and Tyreek went to Miami and still had a great year too. So maybe they're just both exceptional.
Yeah, but I just think there's mid-level teams though that have players that are more impactful for their team that don't have the Kansas City roster.
I think if you took Mahomes off Kansas City for the year, they wouldn't make the playoffs.
Same thing with Josh Allen, guys. You took Josh Allen off Buffalo. That's a 6-win team.
Maybe 7-10, maybe 6-11.
I think on this list, Trevor Lawrence is the 14th best quarterback. Is just terrible.
I got that. That's bad.
Trevor Lawrence might be top 5 by the end of this year with Calvin Ridley. I look for him to have an amazing year.
Well, yeah, if they're not parlaying shit in the locker room. Yeah.
Remember those gambling cards, the parlay cards, and it would say on the bottom, for entertainment purposes only. And then every week
today, Calvin.
Yeah, and every week you'd feel like a genius. I got 6 picks, and this $5 can win me $250. I never came close to winning any of that shit. I'll be honest. I never once won a parlay card.
Man, your bookie's got some weird shit going on down there.
I love it, man. Let me ask you this real quick, because I don't think I ever asked you this. Your opinion on this? Do you agree with Coach that this is the worst era of the quarterback in NFL?
No.
He thinks it's the best.
No, I don't think it's the best, but it damn sure ain't the worst. I'm sure the quarterbacks in the 60s were. I mean, what were there 2 or 3 of them that were good? Maybe Bart Starr.
Hey, you didn't have an era. Come on, man. Athletic.
No, definitely not the worst. No. There's some really talented guys that play right now. I think that there's 2 different games. There's a game in the trench that's never changed. And then there's the game with the skill players where nobody can get hit and everyone's really soft and, manicures and people's ear and that's what it is, because the trench, the front 7 has never changed. No one cares about my brain. No one cares about helmet to helmet in the fucking trench. So I just think there's 2 different footballs, and the quarterbacks, I think if you put a lot of these guys in the 80s and 90s and started running through them, and, some of these guys would fold and some of them would just be even better, I think. So it's kind of like that argument Charles Barkley had where if you take like the 90s superstars, because I think that's the best era of basketball in the early 2000s, and put them in today's game, I think they would all be better. Right. I think they would just be even better because they would have all the bells and whistles. Yeah, man, all the things that these modern athletes have that they didn't have back in the day. Instead of one trainer, every guy's got a trainer. Like, you know, it's just a different world. So when you give Michael Jordan all those resources, he's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, man, did
you see the top 5 receivers by
George Pickens?
Yeah.
He had Calvin Johnson #1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And Randy and then Jerry.
I know Steve Kim is pissed. Steve Kim hates him now.
I'm not pissed, but it's Jerry Rice and everyone else.
I don't have a problem. That he's a young guy. This is just who he likes. Jerry Rice is #1. I have a problem with Michael Crabtree. Why the fuck is Michael Crabtree?
Like all due respect, he's the one name that just sitting below.
Crab may not be top 50.
Michael Crabtree on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, what an insult to Michael Irvin, Sterling Sharp.
Dude.
I mean,
Ron Smith. Hey, come on, man.
Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison, fuck, dude.
What are you fucking Hines Ward? I can name a lot of names.
Reggie Wayne.
Ocho Cinco. I can name a lot of names.
Andre Johnson.
Andre Rison.
Justin Jefferson. Hey, George Pickens.
Yeah. You might as well put yourself on the fucking list, dude. God damn. The only thing I remember Michael Crabtree for is getting his chain ripped off and then just looking at Talib like, can I have that back, please, Daddy? And Talib was like, fuck you.
I mean, I want to see George Pickens' all-time like point guard list. Does he have Ben Simmons #4? I don't want to see any more lists from that guy.
I'll tell you, that's some interesting shit. I was like, wow, Jerry Rice.
I was like, the first 4 I'm not bad with, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the first 4. Yeah.
You have a preference. Michael Crabtree literally peaked at Texas Tech. He was not a bad pro, but
he was a good pro.
He was good, but not top
5 receivers.
I don't know if he was ever considered elite. I'll be honest. I don't know if Michael Crabtree
made a couple Pro Bowls, and he was the #1 receiver for San Francisco for 3 years. He was pretty good.
Yeah, one good year at the Raiders, I think.
He was pretty good.
No, he was solid. Like it's all
at that historic catch against Texas in 08.
One good catch, yeah.
You know,
not saying he wasn't good, but he is not. He's not top 50. How is he top 5?
But the 5th best receiver of all time. Okay,
he's not even top 50. How is he top 5? What the fuck is going on?
Hey, we literally just named 70 receivers that.
I remember. Hey guys,
you're better than this guy.
I remember growing up, guys like Roy Green, Wes Chandler, Art Monk.
Hey, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes, right now, Marvin Harrison might be the #1 pick.
God, dude.
Smith and Jigba.
Holy shit.
Hey, Matt, much love, man. I'll see you hopefully this week again. We'll talk some more.
Peace.
Hey.
All right, Steve, I got to get to brass tacks here. I got to ask you what you think about my main man Drickle over here at Mizzou. Have you heard this?
Yeah, about the whole travel thing. I mean, I kind of get what he's saying, but, and I heard what Matt said. I see both sides of the coin. If you are playing one of those non-revenue sports, I get it. Because those games are not televised, really. You have to kind of look hard to get a streaming service or watch it on the Pac-12 network for the 14 people that have it. I get it. If you're playing one of those sports that is not baseball, football, or basketball, and it really is about the parent showing up and being within the vicinity of where you live or where that school, I get it. But if you're playing a revenue sport, there's a reality. How do you think everything's paid for? And as an athlete, if you're playing football and your aspirations are to make the National Football League, learning how to travel and getting to places you've never been to, it's actually fun as a young kid, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you're UCLA and you have to trudge out there to Maryland in 3 years for a noon game, yeah, it's kind of inconvenient. But you know what? If UCLA is any good and Maryland has it going because they have a good coach now, Loxley, he's doing a good job up there. And and Dante Moore has that program running high. As a UCLA Bruin, you're looking at that as a road trip, a business trip. But if you're playing lacrosse or soccer, I can't lie. I'd rather say, you know what? Can't we play UC Davis in someone's backyard? I'd rather not have to travel all weekend. So I kind of get it. But, guys, this is what you signed up for. That's the reality. You don't have to like it. You'll just have to learn to live with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at me, like my first time I ever got on a plane, was in college, playing football. And for me, like, playing the MAC, we didn't always get on the plane. A lot of times we would get on these long bus rides. Now, granted, it wasn't going from, Ball State to USC. I get it. But, we had some longer rides where we got back to school at like 2 a.m. and then had class at 8, breakfast check at 7. So I've been in a position where, inconvenient travel and it is what it is. Like, for the most part, players, we didn't really care that much. At the end of the day, it's a free ride, comfortable bus. We got the TV, AC on. I'm on scholarship. It is what it is. It was kind of a fun thing for us, to just be traveling together and to get to school, get back to school at these unique hours. I get it for, some of these schools or some of these smaller sports. It could be tough, but like Matt said, man, at the end of the day, football is the reason why we even have these sports in most of these schools. So it is what it is. So,
Steve, nobody goes to school no more.
Some do. I mean, look. Some of these athletes actually do. Some don't. You can just tell by their majors. If you're doing anything that ends with studies,
right?
Yeah, you're probably getting a degree. You're going to be like very useless.
General
most of the
studies.
people. Yeah, like anyone that wants their student loan forgiveness debt all paid out, they probably have a studies at the end of their degrees. And in my view is, I'm not working and having my tax dollars pay for your useless degree. Sorry. You should have got something more useful. But look, there's a reality to this now. You are being forced into a situation. I don't like this whole realignment. There's nothing you can do about it. As someone that's lived on the West Coast, LA, my whole life, I'm actually saddened that the PAC-10/12 is no more. It's going to be
PAC-8.
It's going to be shelled. It's a shell of itself. And part of the charm of college football was the regionality of it. Every conference had a personalities. There was built-in rivalries. There was a certain culture within each division. Now that's basically gone. So, and to Matt's point, I don't like. There's never going to be a team like a Cincinnati that can have a magical year, or Boise State that can make a playoff run, or be that outsider. I just look at it and I'm like, where's the fun in that if you just get rid of that? And, I remember growing up in the 80s, one of the traditions I loved is like the Thursday, late August, there'd always be a kickoff classic in New Jersey at the Meadowlands. And they used to get really good teams.
Yeah.
They used to get like prime. I remember Miami played Auburn one year coming off a national title against Bo Jackson. Nebraska played Penn State one year after Penn State won a national title and they hammered them. And then about late 80s, early 90s, there was a pigskin classic sponsored by Disneyland at Anaheim Stadium. And I went to a couple of those games. BYU played Florida State. North Carolina with the young Mac Brown played John Robinson in his first game back as the USC coach. Tennessee played Colorado when they were both top 10 teams. Eric Bieniemy was on that team and Carl Pickens. All of that is gone. It is. And I'm like, where's the fun in it? Now you have week 0 and your main game is Notre Dame at Navy in Ireland. So it's a different thing. I'm still going to enjoy it, I guess, but it will be different.
I had Mike Farrell on earlier. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter or Instagram, but he's a great college football analyst. He writes a lot of good columns. He said within 5 years, you're going to see a guy play at Miami and transfer to Ohio State and play the very next week.
I don't know about that. Look.
Yeah, that's crazy to think, isn't it?
It sounds wild.
So you have a waiver wire. Or when do we have trades?
Yeah.
He said that
too, didn't he? He said that trades are coming too, I think, Smitty.
Yeah. I mean, basically he's saying everything that the NFL is doing from a structure standpoint at next 5 to 10 years or whatever, he feels like a lot of those things are going to transfer.
Well, you know what I don't want to hear
in
15, 20 years? A kid that went to 3-4 schools, and then when he needs help and outreach with an alumni, he never made any contacts and did not make a – see, this is actually true. I know it's a cliche. Son, it's not a 4-year commitment. It's a 50-year commitment. And let me tell you, I told this story before. Amon Richards was going to be a first-round draft choice at Miami. Had a neck issue, had to retire from football. And I've gotten to know Amon a little bit. And I asked him in a Twitter space, Amon, do you have any regrets about football and the way your career ended? And he says, I was disappointed I didn't play football, but the best thing I ever did is I made business contacts and a network at the University of Miami. And all of my business ventures are with people that I got to know that had nothing to do with football, that were just regular students. That's the value of actually trying to get an education and having a real college experience. So if you're that guy in 20 years that went to 4 schools in 5 years and tried to game the system, and now you're crying about, the system of college football, I'd be like, time out. Did you ever go to school? Did you ever try to meet people that didn't look like you? Did you ever try to meet the big donors or the alumni that could help you? Because they will help you. If you just act like a gentleman and show a little respect in class, these people try to help players. You know why? Because number one, you could play, let's be honest. But number two, if you're a good, solid individual, these people actually have good hearts, because I know these people. So do not just think it's about football, because let me just tell you, I see this in boxing all the time. The game of boxing did this. And I look up their purses. I'm like, bro, you made $38 million. It's not, maybe it was you. That if you couldn't do the most simplest thing and put away for a Roth IRA, that's on you. So I would tell every young player 2 things. Number one, get the best NIL deal from the school you actually want to go to. And if it's not as much as the other school, but if you can live with that deal, go to that school. And then get this, try to actually make friends and contacts that have nothing to do with football. It'll pay for itself tenfold. There you go. Uncle Steve has given some advice.
How many CEOs have been established from those relationships over the time that USC martial law or UCLA or Stanford or Cal? That's not happening no more, to your point, which is a great one. Like, people aren't going to get those experiences no more. And how many alumni of a Miami or SC is going to be really vested or invested in these new kids when I'm not going to have a relationship with this kid in 20 years anyway, which is a big boasting point, right? It's a big boasting point for a guy with money who never could play sports and says, hey, man, I backed O.J. Simpson until he died.
Or killed somebody. But anyway, yeah, and so like the thing is I know of a lot of situations where a kid is like, let's say, a redshirt junior, so he's in his 4th year, may not make the NFL, but he's been a solid citizen. And that young man says to himself, you know what, NFL, boy, it's slipping away. Maybe it's not for me, or maybe they just get sick of football. But they'll do internships with someone that graduated from that school that loves to support the program, and they'll say, you know what, try to learn our business. Go to a law practice for a summer or whatever we do. And they can begin the next pathway to life and create sources and friends. I don't know if you can do that, Coach and Darnell, if you're transferring every 18 months. There's no roots being set down.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's even me, using myself as an example. I mean, the reason why I got my opportunity at Fox Sports was due to being an alum of Ball State and Warren Central. Shout out to Whitlock. You know what I'm saying? If I would have transferred after my freshman year because I didn't play, or my sophomore year, because again, I didn't become a full-time starter until my junior year. So if I would have left freshman, sophomore year because I'm not playing and I'm upset, who knows how my life would have changed? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, using my own life as a prime example of that, I think it hits the nail on the head right there, Steven. Kids can't just go to school just because of money. And I get it. It's easier said than done when these coaches are promising you all these big bags, these big numbers, big checks, especially when you're coming from nothing. You know, your mom is at home, single parent, and she's struggling to keep the lights on, and this school has promised you $300,000. And I get it. Trust me. Like, I've been there. But to your point, Steve, you got to think long term. Even if you do go to the NFL, most NFL careers don't go past 3 years anyway.
Right.
So you're at some point you're going to have to lean on connections, networking, and think about the real world and life after football. So you have to choose your school accordingly and not just based upon money.
Right, Smitty, last week when I was driving over to the boxing gym, I was on a Twitter space, and one of the speakers was Malik Rozier. He was the Miami quarterback when they had that magical run in 2017. Very intelligent young man. He's doing other things now with football and without it. But he's in the real world now. He's talking about the NIL and the impact of it. And he would like to actually talk to kids about, hey, this is how you should handle it. And I just spoke up and I said, look, Malik, all you have to do is really, as a kid, the first thing you should do or could do and it's the easiest thing, start a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is the simplest, most basic way to start a retirement fund. Put $325 in a month, and over time, that money will add up. But if all you're doing is with an NIL is buying your third Ram Charger or doing something else that does not, I don't want to hear the sob stories.
Right.
You have a great opportunity to have a head start in life and to change your position. And if all you're going to do is waste it, and at the end of your eligibility, you don't have a degree, you've been to 3 schools, and you don't have an NFL career, I don't want to hear about the system. That's on you.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. Let me ask you, what do you think about this before we move over to some Mike Parsons talk? I know Smitty has something with him. Let me ask, why couldn't you make a private school league? Like I just mentioned to Matt, I mentioned to Mike. I wanted to mention to Mike and get his take on it. I'll have to ask him off the record, but like Stanford, Cal, Vandy, Wake Forest, Duke, take those schools. Obviously Miami SC are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be more talented. Take those schools, the Army, Navy, Air Force, add those in there. You probably could find 16 good quality teams or even 20, probably a 20-man league, and have an institutional league, academic league that'll be competitive.
Maybe you could, but look, if you're a school like Duke or Vandy and you're already in a major conference, especially Vandy with the SEC, you're not giving up your spot.
But when are they going to get kicked out?
Never.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, someone has to do the academics in the SEC.
If the end,
you got to have your token academic institution, coach.
Yeah, but you just lost Stanford and Cal. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You're going to lose. Let's just say Grayson.
Yeah, but they're from a conference that's been gutted, though. That's the difference. The SEC.
This is going to happen too, in my opinion. It's going to happen too.
Look, you know what I don't like about – look, if you're going to have a 12-team playoff, I get it. There's going to be multiple teams from the same conferences. One of the things that I loved about the bowl season, the way it was in the past, and even the 14 playoff, you generally got to see matchups you did not see in the regular season.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the thing about college football that I loved. You had a 12-team tightrope that if you were a top 5 team, every game mattered. Like game 1 mattered, game 3 mattered, game 9 mattered. You got one mulligan maybe. Maybe you got one. Maybe now 2 if you're in the SEC. But that loss in week 7 meant you had to be perfect the rest of the way. And then if you had one shot at a team, you're like, man, we have to live with this game for 365 days. Now that element is gone. So I actually don't want to see just 2 major conferences. I'd actually like to see 4 major conferences based more on geographic reality. I know it's not going to happen, but are we just going to see the same teams over and over again?
I mean, yeah. That's why I hate it. Why not just say, hey, Cal and Stanford, come move to the ACC with us. We'll meet you in the middle and play in fucking Birmingham every year, and we'll have all
not
these
really halfway, but
like it's crazy, man.
Hey, could you imagine a scenario on the years that Georgia and Alabama play in the regular season, which is once every 5-6 years, right? Because they don't play every year. So Georgia, Alabama are loaded as always. First game's a close game, bang. Okay, so then they play in the SEC title game, another close game, bang. Now you're in the 12-team playoff. Now you're gonna play 3. I'm like, what? What is this? The NBA playoffs?
I mean, it's professional football, so why does it matter? It's professional football, so you're gonna have your diehard travel guys, or you're gonna have, I don't know. It's just a matter of time. I don't know. 5 years from now, I don't know.
I mean, I miss the old days when Miami was an independent. They actually were
yeah.
not in a conference for a long time, and they would play some
game. I mean,
they would play some crazy schedules. They played Tulsa, Cincinnati, then Notre Dame, Florida State, LSU, and then San Diego State. I mean, It was like when Sam Jankovic was the athletic director before they joined the Big East, and you didn't know what the schedule was. So as a fan on the West Coast, you'd have to open up a magazine in the summer to be like, who the hell are we? And they'd come up with like East Carolina would be on the schedule one year.
Random.
And I missed that. But look, at what point, Coach, is Notre Dame going to have to say, all right, that's it. We've had a nice run as an independent. We're going to get into the Big Ten.
They got to get in or they're going to lose out now, because they're not going to be the only school that's, ABC or who is it, NBC represents. Like, there's no way no more. They can't do it. They got to get on with these conferences now because the money's too big and everything's going to streaming. Pac-12 thought they were smarter than everybody else, and it just bit them in the ass with Apple or whatever it was. So, like, man, I just think the NCAA is going to either A, remove itself from these 3 or 4 power conferences when they finally get established, and we know who are the 60 teams, so to speak, 3 20-team leagues, I think it's going to be. Or they remove the NCAA, those 3 conferences, and they make Greg Sankey.
That's what's going to happen.
Greg Sankey's going to be the commissioner of that new entity. You watch.
I don't look. The fact that I was stunned at UCLA SC right around this time last year said, okay, later. And I said, wait a minute, you're telling me the 2 anchor teams on the West Coast in LA are going to leave the PAC.
That's when you knew it was over.
And I'm like, you know who told me this 10 years ago, though? Remember when Colorado and them and Utah went to the Pac-12?
Yep.
Joe Tessitore, I'm good friends with him.
Yep.
He told me 12 years ago, Steve, this is just the beginning. And I go, really? He goes, watch, Steve. He said in 10 to 12 years or maybe 15, college football, the way you know it, will not be what it is. And I really had no idea it would be to this degree. I'm actually going to see Joe in Arizona this week. I'm leaving Thursday morning for the ESPN fights, and I'm going to see what I can find out from him. He always seems to have – because I'd like to know where Miami is going. I don't think the SEC wants Miami, or the other Florida schools don't. And Big Ten, I kind of like the Big Ten for one reason. They might come out and play UCLA and SC once in a while, and Washington and Oregon. So those are easy trips. But I don't really know. I think Miami just has to be better than they were last year before we start talking about any of that.
We're rolling dice, in my opinion. Like, what's the next fad? It's like they're getting bored, and then in 3 years, the Big Ten's going to be in the SEC. I mean, we're just it's a recyclable thing here, and it's kind of getting old at the same time as you are rejuvenating your brain to see a Miami play a SC, and I'm sitting there like, it's getting old because we're going to see this in 2 years again, and you're going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be a novelty when a team that was in a major conference would announce 7 years down the line. Like, I think Miami announced they have a home and home with Auburn, right? We're like, wow, we're going to play Auburn. We haven't played Auburn since '84. Now a lot of these great games are just going to be interconference games or interdivision. And it's like, you're right, the novelty is gone. And I look, to me, part of the uniqueness of college football is that you could have 2 of the biggest brands, and they may never play each other except once every 25 years. So that game becomes important for bragging rights.
Yeah.
It really does.
I spoke to a buddy last night before we talked some NFL real quick before you get out of here. I talked to a buddy last night who made an interesting point about why college is becoming what it is. It's the pressure that the players have put on the institution because of the sudden rise. And I'm going to say sudden, but if we really want to be honest, it has been a sudden, huge jump from what Terry Donahue used to make to what Nick Saban's making right now. It turned it in from amateur coaches to professional coaches. And when they started making $8-9 million a year, it became, all right, this is professional for players. Agents' eyes got wide open. Everyone wanted to get their hand in the basket. And now it's what you see today. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. And look, but my point is this. Couldn't you have just done that with like regional conferences?
I mean, I don't know. I just think that the coaches make so much money and the disparity that was there. That's why the NIL.
Yeah, but aren't they giving them the NIL now? I don't,
Yeah,
I just
$300 is the average. I mean, people think it's big money. They're not getting it. And
I don't disagree, but I'm just thinking about the Pac-12, what it could be with the rejuvenated Colorado Buffaloes with primetime. You have Utah, which is a very solid program. I think Kyle Whittingham runs one of the top 10 programs in the country. They do an excellent job. Oregon State is on the rise. I like Jonathan Smith. That is their coach. That's the guy that's going to be there for the next.
To be depleted right now. All the
right, and you know what? They might actually win it. They're a good team, Oregon State. I really like them. Have their whole offensive line back, and if DJ can be rehabilitated, they run the ball well. Washington with Kalen DeBoer is going to be a hell of a program. Oregon with Dan Lanning's going to be a good program. UCLA and USC, Arizona with my old guy, Jed the Fish. That's a good football conference, or was. I mean, Coach, I'm going to tell you right now, I think the Pac-12 has the best roster of quarterbacks by far in the country.
I agree by far.
They have about 7 or 8 guys that will get drafted, a couple of them in the first round, led by Penix and Caleb, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I get it. The Pac-12 network was a disaster. Larry Scott was the captain of the Titanic. The only difference between Larry Scott and the captain of the Titanic only ran into one iceberg, okay? I get it. All these things are not good. But there was no reason to break up the conference based on the quality of the play.
He also went down with the ship.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Look, this is what you wanted. There's nothing we can do about it. We might as well enjoy it, sort of.
Man, it's definitely.
Hey, by the way, guys, tonight, as a documentary hound, there's Hard Knocks, and then there's the Johnny Manziel doc on Netflix.
JB said he's not watching the Johnny Manziel documentary. I asked him why. He had this whole little thing about. I said, "Come on, we gotta watch it. We can talk about it on the show."
The man is an iconic figure in college football.
He's a fraud. He's fake, and he's full of shit. I just know personally from a lot of things.
Hey, nobody's perfect.
Hey, me and you we should get a show too and just make up a bunch of shit. And
he's the guy. You could say he helped create NIL, because that's what Look, he got in trouble for signing autographs and taking money. Nowadays, that'd be above board, right?
Yeah, well, not really, because Jim Harbaugh can't buy you a cheeseburger, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch that, and they're going to do the Florida Gators of the late 2000s, the Urban Meyer. That's going to be fun. And they're going to also do a series on that.
Into the Laker thing. It's too faked for me.
Oh, Winning Time? I can't watch Series 2. I thought it was a character assassination on Jerry West. It was awkward. And there's too many things I don't think that they got right. And not only did they not get right, I think that they purposely were wrong.
They were. I know.
I like it. I
did season 1. I'm not doing season 2.
I like season 1.
It's a fake documentary no more.
I know they're over exaggerating. Well, that's not a documentary. It's a different type.
I know people that know Jerry West. They're absolutely horrified the way he's being portrayed.
And I know he was upset about it. I think Magic made a comment too. So I do like the way it's produced, though, just from an entertainment standpoint. I thought he did a good job of that. All the facts, I'm sure, listen, that's TV. Everything's not going to be 100% accurate, but I do think it's a good show. But listen, we got to talk about some NFL. Micah Parsons, Steve Keon, I don't know if you saw his comments, but I think he was,
by the way, not to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt. Did you see Darnell? Did you see Micah during the middle of the Crawford-Spence fight? Man, it looked like his dog died. Did you see that on All Access? After the first knockdown, Micah had a head. He's all like, man, this is worse than the playoff loss. But anyway, Darnell, go ahead.
So recently, he had some comments about Hall of Fame and basically saying that not only does he want to make the Hall of Fame, he wants to be one of the greatest Hall of Fame players,
I love that.
Line. You love that. I do too.
I like guys with a passion. I'm just here to get paid. I'm just an entertainer, which he is. But when you have a passionate guy that has goals, I love that. And he says, I'm just going to move to Africa. And I'm like, wow, real life belly. He wants to be like Nas. He's just going to move to Africa. I don't know which one of the 55 countries in Africa, but he's just going to go to Africa with, whoever his version of DMX is. But yeah, I like the fact there's a player with a stated goal in mind that wants to reach greatness, and he's on his way. But Coach, isn't this year he playing with his hand on the dirt? I don't know. Is that his game?
I know you're bringing that up because you remember us talking about it 6 months ago.
I don't know, but I'm just
not his game. And they're showing him he's cooking Tyron Smith, and I'm like, no, he's not. You understand? We kick slide 2 steps and the DN is let go. We don't keep going. He gets to the QB. You see him run by the quarterback. There's a reason. This is what you coach. You don't slow down a defensive end in practice in the NFL. You don't. You let him go full go. So he has a trained mindset to get to the QB. Tyron Smith, you saw him. He fell down one time and they said Micah ran him over. No, he didn't. He overset and fucking fell on his face. Calm down. People just don't get it. They don't watch the real play and don't know football. Period. That's what it is.
What y'all saying though? Like, what are y'all saying? Are you saying if he put his hand in the dirt, he's not gonna be dominant this year? He came in second place in defensive player of the year last year.
I'm talking about right now in this specific topic. They're acting like this cat Reggie Whited somebody, Steve. Like
right. And the other thing is, Micah's greatest asset is athleticism.
It's speed. And
I would just and to only use him in that role. And not have him drop a little bit, chase plays down, use him more creatively all over the field like a chess piece. I do wonder, are you actually limiting his effectiveness?
I said this, Steve, on this show, you and I, and it made you think about it. Me and Smitty, we haven't talked about this, but I think he'll be so irrelevant this year. It's going to be crazy.
Well, hold on. He's had 2 pretty damn good years, Coach. All
pro in second place defensive player of the year, second year league. You crazy.
We talk about last year and all that shit, but he hasn't done it with his hand in the dirt for a
that's the thing. Well, let's see how many plays they do it for, though. But again, I don't know.
I heard he's a rush 5 technique. I heard he's playing the 5. He's not playing the hybrid backer. Like, he's not Lawrence Taylor. He's rushing the passer from everything I've heard. He added 30 pounds.
See, I don't like that either.
I think it's bad for his body type. He's not 6'6". I'm just giving you.
Yeah, Darnell, 30 pounds, that's a lot. And by the way, he just may not psychologically.
It's going to give you honest truth. I'm a personnel guy. He's not going to be sustainable as a 5 technique at that height and weight for long. He'll make a difference here and there. But once you start chipping him with the floater, putting a tight end over there, Big Smitty, what are you going to do? You're going to get him frustrated? He's going to start just half-assing the rush?
They did that last year. He's still balling
out. No, but they moved him around a little bit, though. That's a little bit but Darnell, and here's the other thing. He may not psychologically get over this Crawford-Spence fight. I'm not going to lie to you. He looked down. Man, seriously,
the whole season's ruined now because of the Spence-Crawford fight.
After the second round knockdown, the All Access, they panned in on, everyone's like James Harden looked like he was depressed. Yeah. Jermel Charlo just wanted to fight somebody, but then he always wants to fight somebody. Yeah. Everyone from Texas was like, wow, they were mopey, but man, Micah was like a guy, like he lost his dog. I was like, man, Micah, you got to go to training camp.
We love Spence, Steve. Spence a good dude. We didn't want to see him go out like that, man. That's all.
No, he went out like that, all right. Yeesh.
I get your take on this top 10 quarterback list. Do we have the top 10 of whatever the peers picked, Ethan?
Or top 20 or whatever,
Aaron Rodgers. They had Aaron Rodgers underneath Kirk Cousins. Did we just have the top list?
All right. Hold on. I want to recount the votes here. I don't want to go 2020. That's ridiculous. Aaron Rodgers looks rejuvenated. And I'm not going to lie to you, Coach. I like what I'm seeing from Aaron Rodgers from an attitude standpoint.
He's going to be the MVP.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. But I'm just saying Aaron Rodgers looks like he's having a good time. He's enjoying himself. He's being a mentor. He's being everything that I thought maybe was lacking. You know what? I have no doubts Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great year with Garrett Wilson.
He's going to be the MVP. Mark my words.
Wow, another one for him.
Yes.
You got some bold takes today. So Michael Parsons is not going to really be a big factor for the Cowboys this year.
I have to get
Aaron Rodgers MVP.
Big Smitty, I hate to cut you off right here. I got to get my bold take off this. I am moving Joe Burrow, if healthy, as the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. I'm putting Mahomes at 2. I'm finally going to change it up. Because of your discussion that you've brought to my attention over the last few weeks, the criteria of what greatness is, and you don't really hold Super Bowls that high in your regard. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use it against Smitty then. I'm going to take Joe Burrow as the number 1 quarterback in the NFL right now. If he's healthy, I don't think he is, though. I think he's absolutely fucked. I think the Bengals are fucked.
If he's winning, look, if Jamar Chase is already saying, hey, let him sit out till week 5 or 6, I'm already thinking to myself, okay, this is bad.
It's over.
This is bad.
It's over. So in that case, Mahomes still won. Hey, Smitty, I'm being honest, though. There's no way you can have Jalen Hurts that high. There's no way, even though I think he's impactful for his team in particular, I don't believe you can put him above.
Trevor Lawrence, that 14 is an absolute abomination.
But Aaron Rodgers at 7 just
that's another abomination.
How many people really don't know football?
I mean, no, but here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers below Kirk third Cousins.
I know.
That's the one.
Hold on, JB. You can't say people don't know football because these are the players. You can't. I mean,
they don't. Okay, but Darnell, when you played in a season, how much other football did you watch, Darnell, when you were playing?
That's true.
How much
That's
football
true.
did you
They
really
don't know
watch?
this, Smitty. I had this conversation with Marcellus, with Willie McGinnis. They'll tell you straight out. They didn't know only knew their gap and assignment. They don't know what a damn.
And who they're playing next. That's
They
it.
don't know anything about even this real overall scheme of things as far as a coach goes. Like, Big Smitty, you understood the cover. You understood the defense.
No, you're right. Like, it's like see a little, see a lot. That's what they would tell
like
you.
Darnell,
You know your assignment. Yeah.
That NFL Top 100. The NFL Network used to do a countdown. I watched almost every episode. But here's the thing, though. To be realistic, if you are a nose guard or a 3-tech, do you really know if a cornerback is among the best players? Unless it's like Darrell Revis in his prime. Are you sure the actual guy said, okay, so if you ask that guy like Casey Hayward, hey, Casey, who's your top 5 cornerbacks?
Right.
They'd be like, well, Darrell Revis was really good. He had the island. And then he'd be like, I don't know, maybe Stephon Gilmore. They wouldn't know. They really, and I don't expect them to. I really don't.
Hey, the good old boy network. The NFL. They've allowed Gruden back in. Have you seen this?
Well, that's good. That's good. He's a good football man.
They're trying to sneak him back in.
Yeah, and you know what? Pretty soon, whoever he'll be teaching spider-wide banana. It'll be great. That's one of the traditions.
But he's teaching it. He's teaching it to an absolute bust at quarterback. And that's the problem we have.
Why? He's trying to help out. He's got his foot back in the door. Come on. But
I get it. I mean, I think I'm going to tell you right now. Can I tell you some inside information?
Please do.
Yes.
Gruden hates Carr. He thinks he's horrible. I'm just throwing it out there.
God, you had to throw him on. Well, he tried to get rid of him for 2-3 years in a row, didn't he?
I'm telling you the truth. He hated him. Now, the problem is that's his only in right now, so he has to go back there. And guess what? Makes him look really good on 2 fronts, right?
Boy, I know. I really hope no one in that organization or Derek Carr is not watching this show. Jeez, you just make things really awkward over there, Coach.
You might have just messed it up for Gruden, JB.
Yeah.
Like this might be his last day there because you just made these statements.
I feel bad. I'm fucking blackballed by America. I feel bad for Gruden. Fuck Gruden. I know Gruden.
So misery loves company, huh? Is that what we're doing?
Gruden like that. I like Gruden. Gruden knows I'm fucking with him. But, screw you, Gruden. You're in again. I'm out.
Man, that's hilarious. Man. Real quick before we transition to another topic, I know Steve has to go here soon. Going back to the top 20 quarterbacks, you guys are aware that this is based upon what happened last year, right? The reason Aaron Rodgers is number 7 because he didn't have the greatest year last year. It would be crazy to put Aaron Rodgers at number 1 this year.
No, it would be. But again, if you gave Aaron Rodgers Jefferson and put him in a dome, if no matter what happened last year, you asked 32 GMs, who'd you rather have a quarterback right now, Rodgers or Cousins? It would be unanimous for A-Rod. I don't even think it'd be close.
And there's not one player, but maybe I would even argue Jefferson on the side would probably be like, hell yeah, give me Rodgers. There's not one player that would pick Cousins over Rodgers. Not receiver.
Including on the Vikings.
Not receiver. That's what I'm saying. Not receiver. So, I don't know. It's just a tough one, man. It's a tough one for me. It's going to be interesting. Soft Knock starts tonight, Big Steve.
Knocks.
What do you think about it?
I'm excited to see it. I mean, Steve alluded to it a little earlier. Everything we're seeing in the media, it's like a new Aaron Rodgers some of his teammates. I know James Jones, the guy who loves him. He said this is the Aaron Rodgers he's always known. But to the media, he's kind of been I won't say blackballed, but especially during the COVID stuff and the last couple of years, people kind of looked at Aaron Rodgers as the quote unquote bad guy. And right now we're seeing him hanging out with his young teammates, having fun, teaching Zach Wilson, calling plays in preseason for him. That's leading the touchdown play. It looks like Aaron Rodgers just in a really great place right now. And his darkness retreat must have worked. That's what I'm seeing right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't wait to hear that theme song. It's so iconic. To me, it represents that football is around the corner. You got the HBO production.
But don't cut nobody. Don't cut nobody.
All right, I didn't say it was perfect, but goddamn, let me enjoy this. I've watched every single year, even the year they were on NFL Network with the Jaguars in 2005. They couldn't get a team, so they had to kind of throw one together. But I can't wait. It's fun. To me, I will be watching football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. NFL Network shows all the games. You get to see the position battles. It's fun. It's good. Because you know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of watching college football live, which is one of the few things I watch on ESPN. And it's nothing against Pete Thamel. He does a hell of a job as a reporter. But when half your show is Pete Thamel talking about realignment, I'm like, can we talk some ball? Let's talk some ball here.
Can we AI Rex Ryan? Can we AI him in as Saleh?
Why? I like Saleh.
So I can hear like motherfucker or something.
Oh, Saleh will curse too. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
guys, anything else? I gotta go work out here. They want me early on Fearless. So.
Oh yeah.
Who you got? You got Trollo or Canelo?
Canelo. That's a rhetorical question. Hey, by the way, Coach, I travel on Thursday morning. If you want to have me on tomorrow, that might be better.
Where you going?
I'm going to Arizona, Glendale, Arizona, for the big fight. It'll be Oscar Valdez against Emmanuel Navarrete. Just a Mexican war. Those guys are going to be chucking leather. Orale. You watch that one, Coach. That's a real fight.
Really?
Yeah.
We're doing that tomorrow. Let's have you on.
Yeah. So we'll do it tomorrow because Thursday I travel. And then still doing some other stuff. But Hard Knocks. I can't wait. That theme song, I might make that my ringtone.
Soft knocks.
Soft knocks my ass. Okay. All right. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow then.
Peace, Steve. We'll see you.
By the way, they're saying Eric Bieniemy's too hard on the players already in Washington.
Eric Public Bieniemy. Okay, is he too hard or does the offense stink?
No, players are soft.
But Coach, be honest. Did you ever think he would work as a coordinator?
No.
Be honest.
No, I already said it. I've said it a long time ago. No. But I said he needed Lamar Jackson to make him look right.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. One thing about Bieniemy. You're not
going to sit back there and run a scheme from Andy Reid with an ad-lib QB with fucking Kobe Brissett. I'm sorry. You got to have Lamar. At least make an impactful.
I'm with you. Look, that Eric to me is a real football guy.
LA guy, my boy, but damn.
But today's players are soft, and he's a real coach, so that may not work out.
Coach, man, and people, it's crazy that we're still talking about that stuff. So I don't know. All right, man.
All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Travel.
Peace.
JB, that's the new news. I just got a text from a buddy. I can't say the name, but they're saying that their players are coming to the head coach about how hard he is. Can you imagine an NFL guy getting approached, a paycheck, going to the head coach and saying our O coordinator is too hard on us?
I mean, that sounds crazy.
You're not. You would never. And I don't care. You defend the era and all that in the generation, but you would never do that. So like,
I never went to head coach and said anything about any of my coaches.
You would never even condone that, and I know you enough to say that. Like, it's crazy to think of a 30-year-old or a 28-year-old or even a 25-year-old getting paid regardless, saying that this guy's too rough around the edges. Oh man, like you guys have been shitty, dog. How about this? Maybe it changed. Maybe this is why you've been shitty, because you've been like soft and people have been whispering to your ears. I don't know.
The thing about Coach Bieniemy too, like he almost has like a defensive mindset, but he's an offensive coach. You know what I'm saying? Like
coach, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but offensive guys, quarterbacks, things like that. You guys are being coddled usually your entire doing practice. You guys are soft. Defensive players, I'm used to getting cussed out and behind the line, get your ass up. That was fucking soft. We're not going to. Defensive player, we always get, like, since high school, we get talked to like that. But offensive players, we got to coddle. We have to focus on your mental.
That's where you're wrong again, see?
That's the fact.
If you're a real coach, you coach some quarterbacks as hard as that fucking left tackle. And that's what I used to do. Hey, you can ask anybody.
Man, you just heard Matt say at Denver Broncos practice, he's not sure if maybe the coach went to the defense and said, hey, let's call a few plays to get Russell's confidence up and get him going. That's what we do for the quarterback position.
But that has nothing to do with the I guarantee you Sean Payton rips Russell Wilson's ass. See, that's the difference. I know for a fact that he does. I know how he is with Q's. So is Bobby Petrino. So is a lot of these great guys. They'll get after you. Jimbo Fisher, Saban. If you could cuss out the Q like Belichick did with Brady, then you're going to control the rest of the roster. That's what people don't understand. You got to go hard on the Q. And then you love them off the field. You love them in meetings, and you build that relationship with them because you recruited them. Man, I used to motherfuck my QBs, but they knew I loved them. But dog, you can't just sit there. All right, son, good job on the curl route pick 6 you threw. Maybe you should have fucking checked it down. No, motherfucker, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
it was fake though, JB. It was fake. You know why it was fake? Because you guys like you will call your quarterback in like pre-meeting and let them know, hey, I'm going to be tough on you. I'm going to be hard on you because you're the leader of the team, and I gotta motherfuck you in front of the rest of the team because if I don't, I'm not gonna have control of this team. That's what Belichick did with Brady. That's what all you coaches do with your quarterback. So you go yell at them, but it's all phony and fake. Guys like me, 3 techniques, D lineman, we got the real. We didn't get caught up.
I can say what you feel like right now, but I can't say the name. I can't say it. Let's take a 4-minute break, man. I gotta take a piss, let my dog back in. I let him out because they had to shit.
Who let that dogs out?
We'll be back in 4. Hey, Ethan, pull up. I want to get Matt's opinion on and Smitty. Hey, Matt, I want to get your top 5 Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, in no particular order. I'll just
pull mine up, Ethan. Pull mine up. Wake up, Ethan.
Ethan! Number 1 is the Jets. Oh, I like this, coach. I dig this. All right, so in no particular order, I'm going to go Kansas City, the Eagles, the Jets, Kansas City, the Eagles, the Jets, the Lions, and the Niners.
Lions?
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to be fucking good, bro. Like, I think Jared Goff's the perfect quarterback for that place. He's under the radar. He had a great year last year. He doesn't need to be the LA badass and all the eyes on me. That's not really him. And you know, that guy had a lot of shit talked to him like he couldn't play, and he's the number 1 overall pick who started the Super Bowl. He's far from a chump. I think he's going to be really motivated. I love Dan Campbell. I think they're doing the right thing in Detroit. I think they're going to run away with that division.
I just don't know about the Lions defense if they can get through the gauntlet.
They probably can. I'd imagine that. I think they'll host a playoff game and win one, and then probably run into somebody in the division round or in the championship round that probably puts 40 on them. And that's true.
Man, I got to be all the people in the chat and everybody out there that don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. The reason I have the Seahawks in there and the Jets because I have them in the Super Bowl, which I've already stated. So I have to have them in my top 5. You fucks.
And you're not wrong. I mean, look, let's be real here. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's an opinion question, but you're definitely not wrong. Like the Seahawks are really, really fucking good. And Geno Smith is the perfect quarterback for them. They got better when they got rid of Russell Wilson. So, you know, the Jets are fucking loaded.
I try to tell people they think I'm fucking crazy or something. I don't know.
If they stay healthy, Aaron, I work with McGovern and Billy Turner. They're both 2 of my guys that I've been working with forever. McGovern's the starting center. Billy Turner is rotating at guard and tackle, and he's one of their swing guys. He'll probably start a bunch of games for them. I was talking to them last night, and they are like, it is night and day change. Robert Saleh is just sitting there fucking like literally like counting his guys like, oh my God, I got another one. There's pass rushers falling out of the ceiling. Quinnen Williams is the best 3 technique in football. Yes, that's what I said. Better than Aaron Donald. Quinnen Williams is better than Aaron Donald right now.
Chris Jones?
And yeah, way better than Chris Jones. Chris Jones don't play the run. Chris Jones is a pass rusher. Chris Jones ain't playing no run game. I respect Aaron Donald because he plays the run too. Like if you're a 3 technique and you can't play first and second down, then you don't deserve to rush the passer on 3rd down. That's just my opinion. And I think
here's Big Smitty's, Big Matt. Here's Big Smitty's Super Bowl contenders.
I like this too. Other than all these Charger picks, why the Chargers, guys?
I got to pick them eventually. I think their roster's loaded.
I'm a big Justin Herbert fan, man. I get they ain't won a playoff game yet. I get it, but I think this is going to be the year.
Guys, they're the Chargers. Like,
it's like the Clippers,
you can talk about all this shit all you want, and like they got Mack and Bosa, and they got fucking Darwin. They got
Derwin James. They got Eric Kendricks now.
And then you have to remember they're the fucking Chargers, and they're immediately going to shit on themselves.
Hey, Matt, if Frisco don't make it, Big Smitty's going to have the Bengals play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
No, the point of why I made this is the AFC is loaded this year. The AFC is way better than the NFC. obviously, I'm like, duh. Like, my number 6 pick would be the Eagles. That would be next if I put number 6.
All AFC.
Hey, man, AFC's rolling, man.
Hey, now, I will say this, though. I really hope that one day the NFL reseeds 1 to 16 or 1 to 14 rather than AFC, NFC, because I do think that there's a lot of circumstances where the 2 teams in the NFC title game are way fucking better than the 2 teams.
Exactly.
Like, you remember year 2000, Baltimore, New York Giants? Like, the Giants shut out the Vikings 41-0 in the NFC title game.
Yeah.
The Ravens beat the Titans for the 3rd time that year. That was a great game. But the Super Bowl should have been Ravens-Titans. Like, they were by far the best 2 teams in football. So I would love to see that in basketball and football, where they just get you. If you make the playoffs, you're in the playoff seeding. The top 2 records get a bye. Everybody else, we just seed you from 3 to 14, and we fucking roll. And if the 3rd seed is Kansas City and the 14th seed's the Lions, there's your game.
All right. Look at that.
Hey, that man clutch. JB came back right on time.
I don't even know. I just got that spidey sense, you know.
You don't always do. Yesterday you came a little late, you know. After that timeout break.
That's Ethan's fault. Ethan should put another fucking video on then.
That's true. If all else fails, blame Ethan. So, man, it's been a loaded up show, man. Like guest after guest.
Have to breathe.
I just been sitting back listening and just learning.
You can't even talk because you're scared. You're scared. It's funny how you're scared. Then you go.
We had Mike and Matt.
And blah blah blah. Man, it's the Coach JB show with Big Smitty. It ain't the Coach JB show with Quiet Smitty.
Mike and Matt just been going in. It's like, it's like double dutch. I'm trying to jump in, but they out here dropping gems. As a host, sometimes you got to know when to listen and then know when to speak. Some shows, you don't have to just go 3 hours of me just talking to me and you argue. Sometimes when you bring on guests with different knowledge, let them speak so our people, our beautiful fans, can learn and get educated. Come on now. See, that's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, JB. Come on now.
I like this cat right here.
I see a lot of the same people in the chat, but don't become a member. All you people that constantly come back but don't become a member need to stop being a BMK and member up. Okay? I like this cat right here.
Chop it. Hey, see when your best recruiters are, Big Smitty? The players. Your peers. Your peers are the best recruiters, dog. Hey, Smitty B, I'm about to fucking block your ass if you don't become a member. I used to, Big Smitty, you don't realize, Big Smitty, ask the old crew in here. The OGs will tell you. I used to give cats like 1 minute to become a member. I blocked their ass. Hey, I'm telling you, dog, I'm about to start doing it again, Big Smitty, because of all the trolls, dog. You got to give them an ultimatum.
Right, you putting pressure on people for a minute.
Pressure burst pipes, Big Smitty.
They might have just paid the light bill and they ain't got no more money to become members right now.
You can't defend the running back not being paid enough and then now defend these broke asses. Hell nah.
These my people though right here. These my everyday people, my everyday Joes.
You under the bus in the New York Minute. Don't trust none of them.
I can't trust D. Jones.
You can't trust nobody. 2 people in the world I trust. Me and the other motherfucker ain't you.
I thought D. Jones was my brother. I thought we was locked in. You know what I mean?
D. Jones was a non-member for a long time, and he finally became. See, D. Jones is worth the risk versus reward. The reward outweighed the risk.
Right. You know why you became a member? Because you got a brother on here to co-host with you.
Probably racist. He probably racist.
You know what I'm saying? But before I joined, you had like 95% all white people.
No, I didn't lie.
It was like 95-5. It was.
Stop lying.
Now it's 65-35.
The chat was still brothers. Stop lying.
So you mean to tell me since I joined the show,
I got more friends than you.
Stop playing with me, JB. Don't play with me, man.
Come, I got more brother. Come on. I don't even want to get into sisters.
JB be like, I got 5 black friends.
Yeah, I'm not the one that said, I could say the R, I could have a hard R on it because I got friends. Oh my God, that should be killing me. I could say the N-word. My homie's black.
Y'all crazy.
How many ignorant dog? I've been hearing that shit for so long. I almost slapped the shit out of this fake Eminem one day. I was like, "You fake Malibu most wanted that." See, you never seen me wear the jersey. I never wore the herringbone. I never wore the Jordans. I never sagged. I used to a little sag on my 501s, crease, arch. You don't know about that. That's a male. You don't know about that, Big Smitty. You know skinny jeans. You sag skinny jeans.
I don't wear skinny jeans. I ain't never wear no skinny jeans.
You sag skinny jeans.
Because my knots don't fit. Can't wear skinny jeans. Come on now. I don't do no skinny jeans. I'm 265 solid. Y'all seen me.
I wear a Dickie jumpsuit, Leo Factor. Shit, you don't know about that. I wear a Dickie jumpsuit with some
chucks. With some chucks on.
But see, anyway, Big City's like, what is that? It sounds like Cortez. See, of course,
we wore Dickie shorts back in Indiana. We had all the colors: red, black.
See of Cortez or Cortez Kennedy? What does Cortez mean?
JB, you so far removed from the hood though that you didn't lost touch with the hood, JB.
I used to wear OP corduroy shorts, homie. None of y'all know about them.
I don't know about them. I don't know about them.
I used to wear corduroy too. You used to hear that shit. Corduroy.
Every time you walk.
Hell yeah, with some chucks, and some Cortez and corduroy, homie.
With a beater and a pager.
With some Ben Davises. You don't even know what Ben Davis is.
Hold on. We don't say Ben Davis on this show. That's one thing I'm gonna tell you right now. We never will say Ben Davis on the show. That was our biggest high school rival. They was on the west side. We was on the east side. We will never say Ben Davis on the show. This is the first and last time we will say those two words on this show.
Big Smitty's still stuck in high school, y'all. He ain't ready to be great. He's still stuck in high school. So we got to get him through we got to get him on.
Hey, Jebby be scared every morning. He be so scared. He be texting me, Big Smitty, you up? I can't do it without you. I don't know how to do the show without you. I'm like, I'm here. I've been up. Come on. My passion wakes me up.
Hey, can I dive into something? Why I'm how I am?
Let's go. Let's dive into it, please.
I'm convicted with these kids. Like my conviction is strong on these kids being like enabled. Why I don't agree with Mike Farrell when he came on and said, the coaches can transfer all these times, players can't. It's because how do you allow? I wanted to get into this, but I didn't want to take up Mike's his own self. See, I let guests come on and speak. I'm not gonna sit here and over talk. So that's why I want them to talk, right? So I would say like my combatment to that would be like, what do you feel about a leader as you're allowing that kid to fail by allowing him to leave you? Or not teach that kid something like some tough skin or something. I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't allow my kids to just transfer all over the place without ever learning anything or teaching them something. The older person in the room should be the experienced one and have something that the little younger cat has not yet learned in life. I don't believe you can remove that fact. I don't care about the grown man taking a better job. I care about the young kid who don't know how to change the oil yet. Hence this video that I must show you.
My truck, bro. Talking to a woman like, thank you. Man, damn this woman. I paid 100 racks for this. What the fuck? How you doing? I'm putting oil in here. I know you're not putting no cooking oil in my Range Rover. Okay. I know you ain't putting no cooking oil in my Range Rover. This is pure vegetable. It's the wrong oil. Wow. Okay, you didn't put this in my Range Rover. I only put one bottle, man. How we not cooking oil? This the real oil. Then why didn't you get it yourself? No, this is so dog. Okay, so what's about to happen? Put the engine. One of these in. Hey, post one. They don't go in there, bro. That do not go in there. They don't go in there, bro. To a woman like, thank you. Man, damn this woman. You ain't got no oil change. Why your car ticket? You said we needed oil, so I took it upon myself to buy oil. You need a ride? I tell you, I say, babe, I'm going to the bathroom, grab some oil. You out here, your big you goddamn put oil in the truck. Oh, man, I'm saying what you saying. What you saying, bro? Please, stop. No, man, come on, get off the hill. Get off the hill. Sorry, I did not even want it to be all that. Over some oil? Really? Over some oil?
Dang, bro.
You okay? Oh, my God. Get off me, man. Oh, are you serious? Oh, you want to fight? Get off me. But you didn't want to fight him. You stupid. You got beat up for no reason. You better not say nothing slick because you didn't say nothing to him.
First of all, that better be staged. There's no way somebody made that. Had to be
Ain't
staged.
no better be staged. It's definitely staged. The whole thing is staged. You see somebody sitting there with their phone the whole time recording that?
But I gotta be honest. The girl putting cooking oil in the car is not far-fetched. That shit is happening. Boy, I know boys who are putting diesel fuel in a regular car. So that ain't far-fetched. Like, these cats don't know how to change the oil, the brake pads on their car. They don't know what gasoline goes in what car. They have not even been taught nothing. And we're okay with them transferring 4 times. Like,
JB, hold on, JB. I gotta time you out. 2 things like that. One thing is not connected to the other thing. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not no car motherfucker. I don't know. I go take my car to Diffie Lou. I take my car to the shop. I pay the bread. Y'all take care of the car, and that's what it is. That don't mean I can't go transfer.
But that's exactly my point. That's exactly what's happening in the portal. Exactly what you just said, Big Smitty, is actually happening. You just said, I'll transfer to another school and let the head coach handle that shit. Like, that's what you just said with the mechanic.
So hold on. So just because times have changed and we're not out here riding camelback and we're not out here building our cars by hand and we're not carrying stones on our back and life is just a little easier. Now we can't transfer. Like, I don't understand that.
That's not my point. My point is
we're not battle tested.
We're not only that, but we're not teaching them nothing. Like, what point do you want to learn something? Don't you want to teach something to your kid or something? Like, you just want to let your kid now just jump in the spaceship in 30 years too and just go on over there. Like, I don't know, dog. It's different philosophy, I guess. I don't know if you're never gonna convince me, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, okay, it's wrong or right, or it's just, it could be indifferent. But at the same time, I'm like, dog, I don't know, man. I guess it's from what I was taught to earn my keep, learn the ropes, be able to teach someone something that they did not know prior to their arriving to me. And that's just what it is. I just couldn't fathom being on the road strapped on this freeway and my kids in the car, my dogs in the car were stuck on the fast lane, which I've had happen before. And it's late at night, dog. You know how many deaths occur when a car just runs into the back of you in the fast lane because you can't get out of it? Like, what do? I'd rather know that than call and wait on a tow truck when you're still in the fast lane waiting on cars running by you at 100 miles an hour. I'd rather know how to do something. That's just me. Now, that's where I equate the head coach having been there, done that for a long time, being able to service his family, put kids through college, etc. Where a 17-year-old, we're giving them the exact same freedoms. Just to me, it don't sit well. That's all.
Nah, I definitely respect that, JB. Let me ask you this, man. Next time I come to your crib, can you show me how to change my oil?
Hell yeah, and your brakes. And it's not hard.
I'm serious too. Like, I'm next time I come over, I'm dead ass serious.
I'm about to change my oil and my brakes on my truck today.
All right, do a video. But next time I come over,
I just painted like a bunch of stucco on my house. I had to match the paint. Call the home builder. Match the paint because I had to, I drilled a hole through the wall and the stucco to put my AC unit in the cigar lounge. I had to stucco patch it on the outside. Then it's a bitch trying to match that exact stucco. So I went to Sherwin-Williams 6 times yesterday, dog, and had to motherfuck them. So come to find out, they gave me gloss. Knowing damn well stucco ain't glossy paint. It's flat.
Right.
So I need to go back today. I finally found the right color. Now I got to get flat. So I might cuss out another person. So who knows?
Hey, I'm pulling up the JB house here soon. I'm not going to give y'all an exact date. We got to figure that out. I'm pulling up, and he's going to show me how to change the brake, put on new brake pads, and also how to change the oil, man. We might record.
I'm going to show you how to bleed the brake. See, now it depends on what car you have. If you got a new car, back in the day, you used to have to bleed your brakes, and you had.
I got a 2015 Chevy Malibu, so I don't know. It ain't new, but it ain't super old.
You had to get a C-clamp, put it on the brake pad and the disc. Go in there, pump the brakes, get that shit bleeding back in. Oh, dog used to do it all. My dad was a mechanic his whole life, dog. One of the best mechanics I've ever been around. So I learned all that shit. Dog, I do it all, Big Smitty. I landscape. You've been over here. You see what I'm a landscape.
Your house is beautiful. I will say that.
Put flagstone down, built a cigar lounge, built a theater. Come on, dog. Shit.
Listen, I've never been a real hands-on guy. I didn't get taught a lot of stuff if I'm being real. And then, like, when it comes to cars, I've always been, like, hesitant to just go do this shit because I'm like, man, like, if I do this shit wrong, this is like life. It could be life or death. Like, if I fuck my brakes up, thinking I'm fucking Bob the Builder, and I go out here and I messed up, and I can't. The brakes ain't working. I got people in the car. You know what I'm saying? So like, I've always rather leaned on the quote unquote professional to do it because of my own insecurities when it comes to me not being knowledgeable of cars. But people always say a lot of shit is easy. They say you just gotta, it's like common sense stuff. Do it a couple times, it's easy. So I'm sure I'd be saving some money.
He's right though. On the Maserati though, changing the oil and the brakes ain't happening. You gotta take apart you gotta take the head gasket off. It's like $900 to change goddamn oil on a Maserati, by the way. It's $3,500 to change the brakes, by the way.
Man.
So trust me, I'm trying to learn.
Let me ask you this, but before we go to more of a funner topic, going back to your whole point about the transfer portal, like more on a serious note. So, like, let's say I'm your player, though, JB. You recruited me to come to your school, and a large reason of why I'm coming to your school specifically is because of you. It's other factors, but it's like, nah, I really mess with Coach JB. He believes in me. He cares about me. I can see myself in the future because of him. After 1 year, you get a better opportunity, so you leave. You think players shouldn't like feel some type of way or have the right to want to leave? Because if I came here because of you and you're no longer here, why the hell am I staying here? Especially if the next coach who comes isn't a good coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm not coaching. That's why they won't let me in that fraternity, dog, because they know I will take over. Every player in America will be on my team. Every major big-time player will be on my roster wherever I'm coaching at. And they know it. These D1 coaches know this shit. Don't let them fool you, dog. It's going to be on Last Chance True. They know it. That's why they got me out of it. Trust and believe that shit. And I'm not boasting. I'm not being cocky. I'm telling you the real. There's a reason why I'm not coaching, because they don't want me there, because they won't have the players. I will have them. I out-recruited D1s at a fucking JUCO, homeboy. Don't get it twisted. They have no idea what would happen. So by them thinking that way, they're going to, JB can't come in this fraternity. Hell nah. He's going to be the next head coach at goddamn USC. Like, they know that shit. The problem is they know I wouldn't leave them. They know the kids know I wouldn't leave those kids. And I am committed. That's what it means, commitment. They know I will tell them the real. And they will buy into the shit I'm selling them. And I'm never going to be disgenuine with a kid. Ask any of my players. I'm not going to leave until But now, if I go in the house, Big Smitty, and say, listen, if the USC calls me next week, I'm leaving. And I would tell them that.
Straight up.
So, it's like a deal. Like, these cats lie to them, dog. Face to face, lie to these players over and over and over. They lie to the mamas. They lie to everybody. Lies. They're a piece of meat in the meat market. And they know that I'm different in that regard, so they know not to let me in that fraternity because they know those players will fucking not leave me. And they know I wouldn't leave them, and give me a UNLV job, dog. It is a wrap. I'm just telling you straight out. It's over.
You getting everybody.
Do that. They won't do that. See? And it's like, give me UNLV job. Give me San Diego State. Come on, please. It's a wrap, dog. I'm just telling you. Give me a 45-minute flight from LA to Vegas, an hour and a half flight from Houston to Vegas, a 55-minute flight from Scottsdale or from Phoenix to Vegas. You're telling me there's not a recruiting bed right here in this geographical 2-hour radius on plane? Come on, man. You could drive to Vegas too, by the way.
Yeah.
They're upgrading their facilities. You got enough history there to win with. Randall Cunningham, Keenan McCardell, Suge Knight. You know what I could play? You know the recruiting pitch that I could come up with? Get the fuck. You know how many casinos I'm going to find, especially when betting comes legal here in the next 2 years because they can't stop it?
Dang, you got a whole little, UNLV. There's your pitch right there. Coach JB, make it happen.
Trying to tell you.
All right, switching gears here, man, to more of a looser, fun topic. I saw this video online. This guy, he does a great job on Instagram making these different videos about various different topics. He did a serial Mount Rushmore. Ethan, let's pull up on the screen. Let's watch it first.
A what? Say it again.
A serial Mount Rushmore. His Mount Rushmore
like cereal.
Cereal like cereal for breakfast.
Look at your face. That's you.
My first
you mean
pick
cereal?
in the CTC.
Cereal.
Oh, you said cereal.
That's how we say it in the hood. Cereal.
No, it ain't. I just said it on purpose. You don't say it in the hood like that. Stop.
We say cereal.
We're doing a Mount Rushmore battle with my first pick. Give me CTC. The greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, it's the greatest to ever do it. Start off my Rushmore, and by the way, you guys are going to be able to vote on this after, which Rushmore is better. I'm going to go to the Honey Nut Cheerio.
Of course.
And I want to make it clear, a Rushmore is different than a draft. You know, a Rushmore is more legacy. It's, you know, what have you done for this cereal game, right? What are you leaving behind for the young cereals coming up?
Exactly. And we also are running Snake, so you have the next pick as well.
I didn't know that. And I was bummed that I was going to have to let the Frosted Flake go, but I'm going to get that Frosted Flake.
Okay. With my 2, I will go to Reese's Puffs.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. I mean, what?
No, Zach, great cereal. I think the Reese's Puff, Zach, how many seasons has he played? He's younger. That's all I'm saying.
With my 3, I'll go the opposite direction. A guy that's been around the block. Give me Lucky Charms, Daddy.
Lucky Charms, yes. And my 3, Zach, this is another cereal that I think it's very iconic. I'm going to go to Captain Crunch.
Yeah. And you're playing with berries, or you're playing without berries?
I'm not going to specify.
You have to say.
No, I don't have to say shit. I played the 5th.
That's how we're going to start this Mount Rushmore season off, Danny. You're pleading the 5th on game 1.
That's exactly what I did. In my final pick, Zach, and again, this is Rushmore. This is Rushmore, right? This is legacy. This is long career. This has been around forever. Fruit Loops.
Oh my
God. What are you doing? That's not even how you laugh. He doesn't laugh like that. I've never seen him laugh like that.
That's hilarious, Danny. You know who I'm going to with my final pick? Cocoa Puffs.
The poll is up now. Vote who you think wins. We're going to go 1st to 10 for Rushmore season 1.
So JB, man, I think me and you got to do our Mount Rushmore of cereal right now. I know you don't eat it no more, but I know you grew up eating it for sure. So can we do a Mount Rushmore? Are you ready for that? Can we make that? Can we do a Mount Rushmore, JB? Is that fair?
I'm gonna wing it. Go ahead.
You gonna wing it? You want to go back and forth, or you want me to give you just my 4? How you want to do this?
We go back and forth.
All right, man. So I'm gonna start it off. Mount Rushmore.
This is number 1 or 4?
Let's go number 4 to 1. Let's do 4 to 1.
Always, yeah.
Make that a little better. Make that a little better. Okay. So number 4, I'm gonna go with Apple Jacks at number 4. At my number 4 spot. I'm gonna go with the Apple Jacks, man. Always good.
You would like some fruity shit.
Apple Jacks is good. Anybody in the chat, they know Apple Jack slaps.
Anytime
you have. And I'll say this: Apple Jack got one of the top cereal milks, meaning
Apple
that
Jack
when the cereal's gone, you drink that milk. Apple Jack milk is fire.
Apple Jack's mid. Apple Jack's mid as fuck.
Here you go, man. You must have never had on Apple Jack. Apple Jack is fire. They milk it, and they milk. D. Jones know they milk that Apple Jack milk go crazy.
I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go Honey Nut Cheerios at 4.
That's hella basic. You know what I mean? Like that's like plain Lay's. If we're talking about chips, like it's there. I respect it, but it's like
I know a lot of hood cats that eats plain Lay's, dog. Trust
me. You need hot sauce on them, though. You can't just eat them, so you need some hot sauce on the plain Lay's.
All right, we got to do our top 4 chips next. All right, 3. Go ahead.
All right, coming in at 3, I gotta go with my Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs is fire. That chocolate peanut butter. Yes, Reese's Puffs.
What the fuck is that? I never even heard of that.
Google it. Pull it up. Eat if we got to. Reese's Puffs is fire. It's the orange box. You got the chocolate and peanut butter sensation.
Is
mix the bowl up real good. It's been out for now. You didn't grow up with it during your era because you're from the 70s, but it's not new. Like it's something that's been around for 20 plus years. I would say, like at least last 15 to 20 years. Reese's Puffs go crazy.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's horrible. That's Reese's Cups, homie. You can't just have a candy cereal. That's garbage. That's a cop-out to me. That's a cop-out.
Chocolate and peanut butter inside of milk is fire. You crazy.
It's a cop-out to me. That's a cop-out. It's a disgenuine list.
Puffs.
It's a disgenuine list to me.
It's real cereal, so I don't know how to even argue that. I mean, it's cereal. That's what it is.
It's a disgenuine cereal.
All I know is any real ones in the chat who's ever had Reese's Puffs, you know what it does to you. So come on now.
All right, I'm gonna go with 4. I'm gonna go with 3. Real WPS, white people shit right here, but you throw some sugar on it. Oh my goodness, it's really underrated cereal. Grape nuts.
I've never heard of grape nuts in my life.
Fuck with me. Who out there fucks with me? Grape nuts with sugar on it or fire.
I've never heard of grape nuts. in my life.
God, it's an unbelievable fire and ice combination we got going here. Like I've never heard of Reese's cereal.
Grape
Never
nuts.
heard of grape nuts.
Hey, y'all, imagine being in the hood real quick and your homie said, "Hey, JB, I'm about to go to the store real quick. I'm gonna give me some chips or whatever." He's like, "All right, bro, cool." He walks down the sidewalk, a few feet. JB, hey, hold on. What's good, JB? Bring me back some grape nuts. Come on, bro. Ain't nobody saying that in the hood, bro.
Yeah, we got some young cats in the chat. God damn.
Man, that's because of me. So, all right, let me bring up my number 2 spot. This is where things get a little difficult for me, but the number 2 spot, I got to go with Captain Crunch. Any version of it. I don't care if it's, the regular, the mixed berry, the peanut butter, but just Captain Crunch in general is one of the, I could argue that it's the number 1 cereal if I'm being real. But I'm going to put it in my number 2 spot. Captain Crunch is fire. The only thing with Captain Crunch is you got to eat it kind of fast because once it gets soggy, after a few minutes it gets soggy and it gets kind of mushy, it messes up the entire, experience. But when it's fresh and crunchy, oh, man, Captain Crunch goes crazy.
Yeah, OGs know about grape nuts. Grape nuts make you shit, clean your system. It's fire with sugar. I don't care about Mountain Rushmore. You don't have to add sugar. Bullshit. You could add sugar to whatever. Big Smitty add sugar to his goddamn oatmeal. Shit. And then, all right. You know what? We actually share the same number 2.
Okay. Captain Crunch. I respect that.
Yeah, Captain. No berries though.
Just the original, just the regular Captain Crunch. I'm cool with that. I feel like the original is probably the best of the Captain Crunch, family, I would say. So
you're telling me you don't add sugar to your Frosted Flakes?
Number 1 spot, since you wanted to, you kind of just hinted at it. Frosted Flakes is
number 1?
The best cereal of all time. And no, I don't add sugar to my Frosted Flakes. It's called Frosted Flakes. It already has frost, which is sugar on it. Now, Corn Flakes, you add sugar to make them Frosted Flakes. Yes, but Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's, Tony the Tiger, is the best cereal of all time because you can eat it at night, eat it in the morning. The crunch, when you pour the cereal into the milk, if you're not doing this to the bowl and mixing it up, I can't even trust you. If you're a member right now and you don't mix your cereal in a bowl, don't be a member. Leave because I can't trust you. It's the best cereal. You can eat it whenever. It's fire. That's what it is. Ethan, you young, man. You probably don't even know what half these cereals are, man. Like you probably eating some fucking Dora the Explorer cereal. Like I don't even know what cartoons are out right now.
Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Hold on a second. Don't go nowhere.
Oh shoot! Anytime JB just randomly gets up like this, his mind he's pondering, he's thinking of something. Who knows what he's about to bring back, man?
Oh, yeah.
What is this, man? What is this, JB? What is this?
All right, you ready? Number 1.
Number 1, man.
The greatest of all time, Lucky Charms. I happen to, you know how old these are, by the way, because I stopped eating cereal. These motherfuckers have been here like a year. Let me see. I got the tight seal on. Let me see.
Cereal don't go bad though.
Oh, that smell bomb.
Man, hold on real quick. Hold on.
That shit is fire. Hold on. Oh, hell nah. Ugh. This shit was horrible. This shit was the marshmallow was soft as shit.
Hey, in the hood, when you got a little bit left, you throw the box away and just keep the bag so you can save space. You feel me?
And now hold up though. Number 1, best cereal of all time right here, Lucky Charms. Now, let me ask you something, though. I just ate the worst marshmallow. It was so soft. It was nasty. It got to be hard. What is the number 1 add-on that can go on any one of these 4 cereals, though, that you picked that I picked? Give me your number 1 add-on.
Easy, right here. Bananas.
All right,
easy.
Same with me.
That's easy.
Bananas on this? Fire alert.
Yeah, bananas is making any cereal damn near taste fire. I don't know what it is. It's like it's just a perfect. I haven't done that. I don't eat cereal as much anymore either. It's really rare. But even when I haven't added bananas in a while, but bananas are definitely by far the best add-on.
Hey, number 5 coming in last second for me, it would be the chocolate Fruity Pebbles.
Okay. I'm not mad about that. For me, number 5 would be what's it called? Is it called I think Sugar Smacks, right? Sugar Smacks or just Smacks? Huh?
Sugar Corn Pops?
No, sugar. Type in Sugar Smacks real quick, Ethan. I think I'm saying it right. Sugar Smacks. Smacks. Pull it up real quick before we end this show because want to make sure I'm putting the right thing. They fire though. Sugar Smacks.
Who was Smurfs? Remember Smurfs had a cereal.
I do remember that. Hold on, not Honey Smacks. Nah.
Yeah, Sugar Smacks.
Sugar Smacks. See, I'm not seeing
Kellogg one with the frog on it.
Nah, I'm talking about is it just Smacks? I'm talking about
it's Sugar Smacks. It's right there with the frog on it. Sugar Smacks.
Click on it, like zoom in. Let me see.
It's the Sugar Smacks.
Oh, no, there's Honey Smacks. Anthony.
No.
Anthony Provicio. No, type in Honey Smacks. Type in Honey Smacks.
No, Ethan, go back to the frog. It's called Sugar Smacks. It has a green frog.
No, Honey Smacks. Click on Honey Smacks.
No, Sugar Smacks is a real thing.
But I'm talking about Honey Smacks. Click on the Honey Smacks and pull it up.
Man, pull up Sugar Smacks.
Now I'm talking about Honey Smacks. Honey Smacks go crazy.
Oh, those are horrible. Those look like that's whiter than grape nuts.
Can you Google grape nuts? I've never seen grape nuts. Well, you might
grape nuts is unbelievably
do
fire.
that in incognito mode, Ethan. You might want to be careful typing in grape nuts on your Google search.
Yeah, it pull up fucking Pornhub on you.
It wouldn't be his first time. Hey, this was a good show, man. We had a lot of guests. We dove into college football, talked about NFL, talked about cereal. We had the hood word of the day. I think it was what was it, pizza?
Grape nuts, fire.
Hell no, that looked too healthy. That looked way too healthy.
It's healthy, but it's fire. You put some blueberries, strawberries on there for real? Oh, and some sugar? I might. Hey, number here. What can I say? Him versus him. Cream of wheat, oatmeal.
Oh, oatmeal.
Brown sugar, oatmeal.
Come on now. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the brown sugar in there.
Oatmeal. I stopped adding sugar to that. I just use that, and I just throw a little bit of butter on there, and I put it in the bowl, and then I get the water hot, and then boom. If you microwave your oatmeal water, you should be castrated.
Not a real one. You got to boil that thing.
Oatmeal water. And then you pour it over, boom, melt that butter. When you hit that water, hits it, melts the butter, bam. I cut out oatmeal too, man, because that shit's a weight gainer like a mug. But
that sugar, yeah, hell yeah.
Just oatmeal in general.
And you can tell we both hungry. We talking about food.
I ate already. I have my little stick of cheese and my hard-boiled egg already. That's my protein, and then it's just coffee. I'm about to go juice, and
what do you think you is? You think you a professional athlete? I had my hard-boiled egg and my stick of cheese, and
these are fire. I gotta dump them out. But they are fire. They are fire.
Well, you took a bite of it and almost died, so I don't know how good they really are. Uh-oh, I ain't seen this in a long time. Okay, Ash is back. Ash.
What's up, Callie?
Callie.
It is what it is. Look at Smitty.
Ash.
Yeah.
Ash. Sit, Ash. Callie, come here, Callie.
He's looking at you like crazy.
Callie. Ash. Palm. Hey, I sound like the what's that shit called on TikTok? Palm. Ash. Give me that.
Big Smitty? Yeah, pop. Man, I'm glad that shit died out. I haven't seen nothing about that.
I haven't seen it either. It's probably still going on, but they just ain't talking about it as much anymore. So, man, hey, another great show. Talk That Talk Tuesday. This week is rolling by so far. It's going pretty fast.
Hey, I'll do a daily rant later, man. I've been so swamped lately. I got to get some daily rant. I got a bunch of daily rants backed up. I got to get some out of there today at 4:00. And then Big Ethan will clip out something for us. We got the Jake Paul debate from yesterday. We're going to put on the channel today. And we got a lot going on. Tomorrow, Steve Kim will be back on, as he said. And Matt will be back on Thursday. And then Jeff on Friday. And we're getting closer and closer to college football, NFL football. Can't wait. We got a hell of a lineup. Eric Weddle Mondays, Trent Richardson Thursday, Brian Urlacher gonna pop in here and there. Kirk Herbstreit gonna make an appearance.
Come on.
And then Sean Salisbury and I are doing the early morning pregame kickoff every Sunday. Last Chance Q for 3 hours on Sundays.
Grinding. I love it, y'all.
Oh, we got a lot going on, Big Smitty.
Best time of the year is football season, y'all, man. So the show only going to elevate and get better. We're going to have actual topics to discuss every single week easily because of college football, NFL football. And then, hey, let's be real. October hits and already NBA is back. So we're right now going to get the nitty gritty. It is me. I'm just saying, though, we're going to have so much more to talk about here in the next couple weeks. Hard Knocks is tonight. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow during the show.
Because this is I gotta. Jesse looked tough on the exterior. He probably he could be a NorCal guy or he could be a backwoods Kentucky guy. I don't know.
He dips for sure. You tell about it like his jawline and chin. He loves dips.
I gotta be honest. Captain Crunch rough on the mouth is a very, very, what do you call it? Sus?
Yeah. I mean,
sus.
He looks like a guy.
I feel cringe. I got cringe vibes saying the word sus.
I don't think Jesse was big his whole life. I'm gonna be real with you, JB. There's something about him that tells me like in his younger age he wasn't like big and like something happened or he went through something where he got a little bigger and he's kind of like fuck it. Like it's what it is. Like
But Captain Crunch can't hurt your mouth. It's a soft comment.
Yeah, Captain Crunch don't hurt your mouth at all. I'm trying to think. I know you first put it in there like that, it's crunchy, but nah, like it gets soggy quick. So I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, my bad. Announcement, real quick. So Jeff and I are gonna curb tell our late night show because I got to get ready for football season. I got a lot going on. Sean Salisbury and I are creating our Last Chance Q, and we got a million things in the fire right now. So Jeff's gonna be on Sunday's show with us doing a betting portion of the show with Sean and I. So we're setting all this shit up, and it's a lot, man. So right now, the late night show we're gonna put to the side, and we're gonna start it back after football season because it just makes sense. That's a seasonal show. We can't have all these shows going on during football season. It makes no sense. So we probably jumped the gun when we started it, but Jeff and I are gonna start back and make it bigger thing for evenings, but that won't start until after football season. Right now, we got focus on football. We got a lot going on, and I hope you guys appreciate and respect that. But that's where we are right now, and I forgot to make that announcement. Become a member of Patreon, though. Episode 3 of Season 1. I'm going to drop all of them at once here at September 7th, but I will give you members snippets here and there. I dropped Episode 2 in there yesterday, and I might drop Episode 3 in there today for all the members out there. So you guys have been paying for a while. You guys deserve it. So much love to everybody, man. Pound that like button. Hayden Maxwell, I coach your girl. The real coach JB, Big Smitty. Much love, and we'll see you guys mañana, if God willing. Peace.